The Archers is a radio drama on Radio 4. This is the Christmas 1986 episode. Broadcast since 1951, it was famously billed as an everyday story of country folk, and is now promoted as a contemporary drama in a rural setting. Having aired over 19,500 episodes, it is the world's longest-running drama by number of episodes.
And now it's time for a very special visit to Brookfield Farm in Ambridge, where Christmas preparations are underway.
If you could just bring the other tray through, Chris, the one with the brandy snaps and cake.
Oh, there's enough food here to feed a regiment. How many are you expecting, for goodness sake?
Well, there's Uncle Tom and Uncle Walter to start with. They always have hearty appetites.
I thought you said they were having lunch at the ball. Surely they'll be full up by now.
Well, you know what that means at this time of year. A few seasonal hot toddies and more than the usual number of specials. And by the time they've walked those off, I should think they'll be ravenous.
Shula and Mark popping over?
I shouldn't think so. You know she's asked us all over to Glebe Cottage this year. I should imagine she'll be tearing round in a panic.
Oh, I bet she will. It's always daunting cooking for your mum.
That's why I decided to have this tea party today. It seemed a bit odd to have Christmas without doing all the usual cooking.
You must be joking. I'd jump at the chance if I were you. Imagine a Christmas without having to slave over a hot stove. George seems to think that the turkey just jumps on the table ready cooked.
Maybe he believes Santa Claus brings it.
Oh, sounds as though Santa's doing his rounds early this year.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, you two. Happy Christmas, you two.
Hello there, me old pal, me old beauty.
Merry Christmas.
Compliments of the season. And here's a little something from me.
Oh.
And something from me and Prue.
Oh, thank you both.
Not to be opened until tomorrow, mind.
Thank you. I'll put them under the tree with the rest of the presents.
Oh, hello, Chris. Nice to see you by yourself.
By myself?
Without having to crane me neck because you're on some blooming great horse.
Oh.
Tom, look at all that. Oh, my, they've done us proud. Mind if I just have...
Now, Walter. Manners maketh man.
Oh, that's all right, Uncle Walter. Here, have one of these sandwiches. And there's plenty more where they came from.
Oh, well, if you insist.
Tuck in.
Who else have you invited then, Jill?
I'm going to make a start on these sandwiches too.
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure who's coming. I've told everyone I met in the village just to drop by whenever they had a free moment. So I suppose that's anyone who's not at work.
Work? I don't know as much work gets done at this time of year.
All these Christmas parties more like. Oh, I've heard stories that'd freeze your blood.
Oh, you should have heard Elizabeth going on about the Echo. Yeah, they're having their third Christmas party today. Their third.
Them people as works in offices are the worst.
Oh, yes, Uncle Tom. I suppose you speak from years of experience.
Well, I've been around. I kicks me ear to the ground.
Their third. I said, why don't you take me along, Elizabeth?
Oh, good gracious.
Oh, I can hear someone coming through.
Oh, yes. Perhaps that'll be Mrs. P.
With the dog woman. She wouldn't be at an office party.
Shula!
Oh, hello, love.
Happy Christmas.
Christmas, love.
What a surprise.
Oh, yes. Hey, come and sit down, love.
Is anything the
These
matter?
sandwiches are good.
What was that, Uncle Tom?
I think
These
they're
sandwiches
giving you a
are
warm
nice.
welcome.
Oh, Mum, it's all hopeless. First Mark got all the wrong vegetables in, and then I found he'd forgotten to take the turkey out of the freezer.
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, Lord, oh, dear.
So it won't have had a full 24 hours to defrost like it's supposed to.
Never mind,
dear.
Shula. Here, have a sherry.
And now, when I need him to give me a hand like he promised, he phones home to say he'll be kept late at the office party.
See? I told you.
They can be wild, surely, these office parties.
Go on, love.
No, I wouldn't mind going to one, though.
Well, that's it, really. Oh, I suppose it all got on top of me a bit.
None of it seems very drastic to me.
Is the turkey defrosting now?
Well, yes.
And did you manage to buy the right vegetables this morning?
Yes.
Then I don't think there's anything much to worry about, is there?
No, I suppose not. I just wanted it all to run perfectly, like Christmas here always seems.
Oh, you can't expect to get it right first time. Christmas is a fine art, you know.
Yes, of course you can.
Of course not.
I'm going to go and see to the rest of the food. Help yourselves, and just call out if you want some more tea.
All right, Jill. And you yell if you need any help.
Tom, you be mother.
I always spell it.
I'll pour. Now, is everyone close enough to the fire?
Yes, thanks, Auntie Grace.
Yes, I'm all right.
I can understand your being upset, though, Shula. It's so hard when you first set up home and try to recreate the happiness you knew as a child at Christmas.
Oh, didn't used to have no office parties, eh, Tom?
Oh, they was unheard of, Walter. Unheard of.
There's some people rouse a lot at Christmas time.
It's a strain. Some families are under a lot of strain at Christmas.
Oh, what does you know about it?
Well, I've got eyes, haven't I? And I've been in Ambridge as long as anybody.
I bet Mum and Dad never rowed at Christmas.
Oh, Shula, of course they did. Everyone does. It's not a serious thing. And even...
What?
Oh, nothing.
No, what?
Oh, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Well, I was going to say, even in your father's first marriage.
Oh, to Grace.
Grace Fairbrother as well.
Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Why not? That was decades ago. Ages before I was born. It was another world then.
Yes, but your mother... Well, she still doesn't much like people to talk about it.
She's right, Shula. That's one topic Jill's very touchy about.
Oh, well, you can understand why, can't you?
Surely you're not trying to say she's jealous. After all these years? Oh, come on.
Well, no, not jealous.
No, I wouldn't say jealous, no.
Grace meant a great deal to your father. Oh, not just to him. The whole family loved her.
Well, a lot of people seemed impressed by her. I can't say as I ever
She was charming and very attractive.
She was pretty enough, I'll say that.
Phil was, well, very fond of her for a long time.
They was both courting other people.
It was years before he plucked up the courage to ask her out.
She'd been abroad. When she come back, he fell for her. Hook, line and sinker.
That's hard to imagine. Dad as a young swain. Where did they go? A young farmer's hop?
Oh, this was back in the early 50s. Everything was much more straight-laced then.
Oh, some of us weren't.
If a young man asked a girl out then, well, if he was respectable, he'd ask her home to tea with his parents.
Grace, Mum suggested you might like to come to tea at Brookfield tonight. Will you come?
Yes, please.
Good. It'll be just like old times, won't it?
My goodness, it is nice to have you sitting down to tea again, Grace. Just like old times. I don't feel as though I've been away at all.
I must say you're looking well, Les.
Oh, I feel fine. You know, Grace, you were a lucky girl to have a holiday abroad. I suppose I was. But for some reason or other, I don't think I fully appreciated it.
Oh, don't tell Chris that. She thinks it's wonderful to travel the world ever since she's got to know Lady Heilborough.
Yeah, what's the time, anyway?
What?
Hey up, Phil.
What?
It's gone 6. Switch on the news.
Oh, good gracious, yes.
See what Mr. Butler's done for us, or to us.
Well, whatever he says, I've got a feeling it's not going to be very pleasant, Dan.
He's got a devil of a lot of money to get from somewhere. But he'd have a bit of a job to get it from me at the moment, as my bank manager would very soon tell him.
Oh, now then.
I bet your cigarettes go up.
An income tax.
The Exchequer has proposed in his budget statement
Oh, yeah.
cuts in the food subsidies
Oh, that
and
doesn't sound so
concessions
good.
in income tax,
Good.
family allowances,
Concessions?
and pension. The income tax proposal is that the single allowance shall be increased from £110 to £120.
Uh-huh.
The married allowance from £190 to £210.
To get married, I can
and the
see.
child allowance from £70 to £85.
Oh, well, that's better anyway.
The earned income relief will be...
There it is. Petrol up, oil up. Bye. A good job we got that heavy ploughing done.
Yeah, that Lakey Hill job of mine's going to cost a bit more, though, at that rate.
How's the new bank rate of 4% going to affect that overdraft, Dan?
I don't know. Better see my bank manager in the morning about that.
Well, milk, meat and flour are all going up in price. I wonder if the farmers are going to get anything out of that increase.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't, I'm afraid. What it will do is make the public realize just what it costs to grow and produce this stuff.
Yeah, that's
well,
true enough.
never mind. Income tax allowances are up and family allowances have gone from 5 bob to 8 bob, so Jack and Peggy will be pleased about that.
Yeah, and old Walter hasn't got to pay any more for his pipe or his pint, so he'll be pleased about that.
Oh, and now, for goodness sake, let's talk about something else.
I've
I've never been able to imagine Mum and Dad as a courting couple. And it's even more strange to think of Dad courting someone who isn't Mum.
He had a lot of girlfriends, your dad.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
I mean marrying someone who isn't Mum.
She was my closest friend at the time. Perhaps my closest friend ever.
What was she like?
Well,
There's a question.
I mean, apart from being pretty.
she played a lot of tennis.
Yeah, and rode a lot of horses. She was always on a horse. Well, she ran the stables with you, Chris, didn't she?
Crikey, tennis and riding. She sounds like Miss Joan Hunter Dunn.
Hey, oh, does her live over at Little Croxley?
Oh, she was nothing like Miss Joan Hunter Dunn. She had a very strong personality, a very independent streak.
Oh, a bit too independent, some said.
There were some of us as thought. Well, bygone days, I suppose.
No, Uncle Tom, do say.
Well, put it this way, Shula. We're all very fond of young Elizabeth. Oh, she's a real bright spark. But there are times
She
when...
wasn't like Elizabeth.
No, nothing like.
And only one, no mother. Oh, and her father doted on her.
Well, it's hardly surprising she had a mind of her own. Oh, and she led Phil a merry dance.
Uncle Tom, that's not fair, and you know it. They were very much in love.
Well, she was very modern in her ways.
How do you mean?
Well, she was always adamant that her work at the stables took priority over starting a family.
Sounds very sensible to me.
Oh, she wouldn't hear of having children.
Oh, no, wouldn't hear of it.
Her wanted to wait a while.
I bet that drew a few old-fashioned comments, unless Ambridge has changed a lot since then.
Well, I mean, it's not natural, is it? People gets married to have babies. Otherwise, what's the point?
Uncle Walter.
Anyway, Phil absolutely doted on her. And she did begin to change her mind about babies when they'd been married a little while.
Ah, there she is, hunched up over a hot little stove, getting the old man's supper ready.
Oh, don't be a clot. Finished for the day?
Yeah. Anything new?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, what's for supper tonight? Sausage and mash, faggots and peas.
Wait and see. There, look. Is that to your taste?
Partridge? Oh, wacko. You've been poaching?
You seem to forget my father owns most of the shooting round here, young man.
Whoops. Beg your pardon.
Go on, get yourself washed. It's just ready.
All right. Sink covered up with saucepans and paraphernalia.
You could wash in the bathroom, of course.
I miss all the cooking smells. Oh, no fear.
What have you been doing till now?
Oh, getting everything ready for the autumn sale tomorrow. I've quite a bit to go. 15 cows culled out, 25 in-calf heifers, 8 baroners and 2 yearling bulls. Ought to bring in quite a crowd.
Oh, good. You calf.
Oh, it's all right. There's one thing I like more than a partridge. It's a brace of them.
You know, I think I'll send a couple to Isabel Workman, just as a gesture.
Oh, yes, why not? Oh, best cutlery and glass out on the table, too, eh? What are we celebrating?
Nothing. I just thought it would look rather nice.
Well, it does, too. Oh, good Lord, and wine.
I went home and raided Daddy's cellar.
Ah, clever girl. Hey, come here a minute.
Well, something wrong?
Absolutely nothing. This is for being a clever girl.
The partridge will get cold. Don't want it to spoil after all my slaving over the stove, do you?
Oh, no, of course not. A beano like this is sort of extending the holiday. A good weekend, wasn't it?
Lovely.
I didn't mind pram pushing a bit. Ha! Do you think anybody thought it was ours? Well, what's the matter? Well, I made a gag. No reaction.
Oh, I was just thinking.
Oh? What about?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it's silly, really, but, well, having to take care of Isabel's baby over the weekend and all that.
Yeah?
I think perhaps you were right after all, Phil. And I was wrong.
What about?
Waiting 5 years.
Huh?
For a family of our own.
Oh.
I mean, it's been rather selfish on my part to insist on waiting a while. I'm beginning to realize that now, and the weekend rather brought it home to me. Well, I didn't do too badly managing Isabel's baby, did I?
Too badly? Why, you're an absolute natural.
Yes. That's what I'm beginning to feel myself. You were right, so let's forget all this waiting 5 years nonsense, Phil.
But a decision like that, well, it's a terribly intimate thing, isn't it? Did Grace confide in you, Auntie Chris?
No need to confide. It wasn't long before everybody in Ambridge knew that Grace had come over all broody.
Oh, typical. It's like living in a goldfish bowl.
Oh, was it spread, that rumour, anyway, about Grace and the babbies?
Well, actually, Shula, I have to admit that, well, it was such exciting news at the time.
You mean you gave away her secrets?
Oh, no, nothing like that. As a matter of fact, it was Mum who first pointed out that Grace's attitude had changed. They'd had this weekend away, you see.
Oh, my sister was a great one for jumping to conclusions.
Oh, yes, Doris was a clever woman. She knew them things. And when Phil and Grace got back,
she sensed something was different.
Talking of Len, Dad, he should have seen those sheepdog trials on Saturday.
By golly, I should that. I looked in at Mrs. P, especially to watch them.
If we had a set of our own, we could be independent.
Independent television at Brookfield as well as in London, eh?
Yeah, but that Farmer Wilson, the one who won, him and his two dogs, see, what are the names? Bill and Nat. By, they could handle sheep all right between them.
Oh, Grace and Phil back, Dan.
Yes, I saw Phil for a second or two.
Oh, did they have a nice time?
Oh, from what he says, they spent all their time baby minding and looking after the house.
Oh?
Grace's friend had scalded her foot and her husband was away.
Oh, I say, what a rotten shame. They must have had a thoroughly disappointing weekend.
Oh, I don't know. Phil spoke as though they enjoyed it.
Baby minding, eh?
Ah.
And they enjoyed it. Now, that might be the best thing that could have happened.
Eh?
Well, they wouldn't have enjoyed it if Grace hadn't been perfectly happy. And if Grace was perfectly happy baby-minding, why then?
Why then what?
Never you mind.
I don't know about you, Mum. I bet she starts knitting tiny woolen garments within the week. And all because Isabel Workman scolded her.
Nothing of the sort. I never said a word. All I said was...
But you mustn't get the impression that the talk about Grace was in any way unkind, Shula. It's just that, well, everyone wanted them to have children.
And if they had started a family... Oh, it makes me feel almost eerie, as if someone stepped on my grave.
What's that, dear? You're all looking very solemn.
Oh, it's nothing, Jill. Just one of Walter's old ghost stories.
It's funny that's such a Christmas tradition, isn't it? I suppose it goes back to Dickens, the ghost of Christmas past and all that.
Perhaps too many ghosts of Christmas past.
Oh, more tea, anyone?
It's freshly brewed. I'll leave it here.
I'll pour, Jill.
Right, thanks. About 5 minutes for the sausage rolls. I hope you've left a bit of room for them.
All this talk about Dad and Grace gives me an odd feeling. If they'd had children, then I might not be here, if you see what I mean.
I understand you. But it can't have been more than a couple of weeks after that time that the accident happened.
Wasn't it the same week?
Oh, yes. They'd been away, and it happened that same week.
The fire, you mean?
Terrible night. We were there, weren't we, Walter?
Oh, yes. It was the earring that caused it.
An earring that caused a fire?
No.
Oh, she and Phil went up to Grey Gables for dinner. Oh, what was the name of the bloke who used to run it?
That's where our stables were in those days.
Wasn't John Tregoran with them?
John and Carol. But I don't think they were married then.
Oh, Reggie Trentham. That was his name. He used to be up at Grey Gables.
But what about this earring?
It was a tragedy.
Oh, the worst thing I can remember in Hambridge.
Well, you see, they were all sitting around and chatting when Grace discovered...
Anybody else for another? Carol?
I'd love one.
John? Please, Grace.
Oh, confound it. I've lost an earring.
Where? In here?
No, I have a feeling it came off as I was getting out of the car.
Oh, well, look, I'll go and have a look.
Oh, no, you carry on and get the drinks. I'm almost sure I'll find it on the floor of the car. Shan't be a moment.
Right, dear.
I feel rather undressed without it.
Oh, dear. Well, same again then, Reggie, please, all round. Have one yourself.
Oh, bless you with those few kind words.
Well, now, John, let's get back to business. You want to borrow our lorry on Saturday week for how long? 2 hours?
A couple of hours in the morning should do nicely.
Do you want the driver as well?
No, thanks. I can drive it myself. If I can be trusted.
Fair enough.
It should be quite a do, this fete field day and concert of yours, John. I wouldn't be surprised to see you raise more than enough money for the village hall roof repairs.
Just pray we don't get rained out on the day, that's all.
Everybody,
Hello, what's up with Grace?
Oh, do come quickly. The stables are on fire.
What?
Heaven's grace. The whole loft's ablaze. Come on, quickly. Help me with the hose.
What's going on? Look, what's all the commotion? Fire, Reggie. The stables are going up. I'll ring for the fire brigade straight away, will you? Right away. Look, can you take the pony?
Yes, I'll try. Now, come on, steady, Judy, steady. It's all right, old girl.
Midnight!
Oh, my gosh, we're lucky to get him out.
Yes, certainly were. What's up?
Midnight couldn't have been tied. Look, she's going back into the stable.
What? No, Grace! No, don't do it!
She's going in after Midnight.
Grace! Grace! Grace, come back! The roof's collapsing! For God's sake, Grace, come back!
Look at that roof. It's caving.
Horrible.
Phil! Phil, you fool!
Let me go! Grace is in there! Let me go, blast you, John!
Now, look, Phil, it's suicide if you go in.
Grace! Grace!
Phil, you madman!
Don't let him.
Grace! Grace! Oh, my God! Grace! Where is she?
Well, she may have gone out through the tax room window.
No! She must have... There, look! Under that beam.
God.
Get it off her! Go on, help me! Get it off! Heave!
Right up. Oh, I can't budge it.
Well, harder! Harder! Go on, heave, blast you! Pull your guts out! Oh, look! The straw! Underneath her! It's getting a light! Stamp on it! Don't let the fire get to her!
All right, Phil, all right. Now get on this beam and heave, Reggie.
Yeah.
Quick, up. It's coming. Bit more. All together.
We come running up, didn't us, Tom?
Oh, yes. I remember it as clear as if it happened today.
Oh, the flames was jumping that high into the sky. You could see 'em from the bull.
Everybody poured out into the night and run to help. I put in a call to the fire brigade, but they was already coming.
It was only a couple of minutes, but by the time we got there, things looked pretty bad.
It was chaos. Apart from me and Walter, Dan was the only one who seemed to have his wits about him. He walked around just giving orders.
Any more hose, Walter?
No, Tom, I can't find none.
Well, there's a standpipe over there the blasted hose won't reach.
How much of that tackle did you manage to get out?
Not a lot. Took it out through the broken window with a hay rake, and then the flames drove us back.
Listen a minute. That's the fire engine now.
Can't have took 'em about 15 minutes to come from Hollerton.
No.
That's darn good going.
Hey, ambulance too by the sound on it.
Keep out of the road and let him get at
Right.
it. Tom?
Yes, Dan.
Show 'em where the water is, will you?
Righto. Water's over here, you chaps.
Right, thanks.
Stay here, Walter. Do what you can to help, will you?
Right, old Dan lad.
It must have been horrific.
Well, it was only horrific afterwards when we heard that she died.
Yeah, Phil went off in the ambulance. I was at Brookfield with your grandfather.
We stayed on to make sure things was under control, didn't us, Tom?
We did that.
Everyone must have been terribly upset.
I don't know, Shula. It's a funny thing about emergencies. In an odd way, your mind starts turning to trivial things.
I suppose it's a sort of self-protection.
Yes. Anyway, even though we knew that the accident must have been a serious one, I don't think it crossed anyone's mind. It certainly didn't cross mine that, well...
No, nor mine.
Oh, nor mine. We just didn't think that she could possibly be...
Oh, had somebody just come in? Not Mum, surely. It's too early for her to be back.
Yeah, might be your Uncle Tom or Phil, perhaps.
Oh, it's Phil.
Yeah, didn't expect you back quite so soon. Chris and I were... Phil. Phil there. What's gone wrong?
In my arms. On the way to hospital. She's dead.
Are you all right, Chris?
Yes, I'm fine.
Dad must have been shattered.
Oh, I think it almost broke him completely. But not only Phil, everyone in the whole village, and elsewhere too. She had so many friends.
I wouldn't hear a word said against her.
No, nor would I.
Letters and flowers kept coming in for weeks afterwards. I suppose none of us had known such a sudden, shocking death since the war.
Poor Auntie Chris. I didn't know she was your best friend.
For a while, I was very angry with Dad. Everyone else was so shocked, and he just seemed to be carrying on as if nothing had happened.
That was his way of coping with it, I suppose.
Very good way.
Yes, Dan was good in situations like that. He knew things be instinct, Dan did.
Down to earth. Oh, he was right down to earth.
There you are, Chris. Just going to see about a spotted breakfast, are you? Good job I caught you. Because you might put an extra rasher or two to make a sandwich for Simon, will you? He's come up to give me a hand, you see.
Dad, honestly,
What?
at a time like this, you talk about rashers of bacon. Haven't you got any feelings?
Yes. Yes, love, I think so. My feelings are just the same as anybody else's.
I've certainly got no appetite.
Now, look, my dear, what good do you reckon you're doing anybody by taking that attitude?
Well, it's natural enough, isn't it?
Aye, but not very helpful. Not to anybody. Now, look, me and Simon there in the milking shed, we've got the same feelings as you and everybody else, but we've still had to carry on milking, just the same as you've had to carry on feeding and watering those horses you've got there.
Well, I didn't say anything about not doing the milking or not feeding the horses, did I? Of course those jobs have got to be done.
Aye, and the same applies to breakfast and housework and ploughing and muck spreading and everything else, Chris. Life must go on, my love. It's heartbreaking and dreadful. But it's not the end of the world. Life must go on. For you, for Phil, for all of us. So let's all get busy and do something to help it.
But, Dad, why should a thing like this have to happen to us? Why? Why should it happen to us?
Things like this are happening to people every day, Chris. Every day of the week. Somebody somewhere has a thing just like this to face up to and contend with. Now, why should we consider ourselves any different from other people just because we're the Archer family? We're not any different, you know.
Here we are, piping hot from the oven. Well, what's up this time? Not more of Uncle Walter's ghost stories. You're all sitting in a row staring at the fire. You'd think this was a wake, not Christmas Eve.
Well, I...
Well, don't all look at me like that, as though I was the ghost of Christmas past.
Oh, it's nothing really, Mum. You know Uncle Walter when he gets going.
Uncle Walter's the fat boy. He wants to make your flesh creep.
I'm fat. There's nothing fat about me. A bit of Battenberg, that's all the sugar I allows myself.
Oh, calm down, Uncle Walter, and have another one of your special cakes. Jill went to a lot of trouble to make them for you.
Well, go on, Walter.
What was the story you were telling that had everyone so enthralled?
Oh, don't make us sit through that again.
Oh, no, please.
I don't know where he gets them from, do you?
Too many specials, if you ask me.
But
Now, Uncle Walter, that's quite enough. I expect Marjorie Antrobus will drop by this afternoon, and if you aren't careful, I shall put her in charge of it.
Oh, no.
Now then, I think we should all forget ghosts and cheer up a bit.
Quite right, Jill. It's our duty to keep cheerful. Well, that's what Prue always says.
Especially at this time of year. We do have happy memories to call on.
You know, when I was in my teens and all the childhood thrill of Christmas had worn off, I started to think it was all a bit of a bore.
I suspect Elizabeth still does.
Oh, she liked parties, though. Hey, did I tell you they'd had 3 at the Echo, Tom?
Yes. But in the last couple of years, it struck me that it's really more important.
How do you mean, love?
Well, I don't know, really. I suppose it just seems like a time to sit back and reflect on your blessings.
Ah, that's true enough.
I mean, just the simple things. Families, of course, and friends. But even things like being alive another year.
Oh, but there's plenty as daren't live. Dan and Laura and...
All right, say it. And Bob Larkin.
Oh, Uncle Tom, come on, don't upset yourself.
Oh, Shula's right. At this time of year, I keeps finding myself thinking about him. How he'd be here today if it hadn't been for that night Phil and I went out determined to catch our poacher.
Is that you, Phil?
Yes, Uncle Tom.
You're that blooming dog. Something must have disturbed him.
Let him go, wasn't he?
It certainly was. Now, I went through the top half of the dogs just on dusk, Phil. Pushed most of the birds down this way. And I reckon this is where they'll have to come to find them.
What do we do then?
Well, keep a quiet patrol through the whole cover. If here's nothing, meet back here, same spot every hour. All right?
Yeah, all right then.
Right, off you go then. And be as quiet as you can, lad.
Yeah, righto.
But it was me who'd come across him in the woods. Bob Larkin. Oh, I'd never liked him anyway. And people said he'd been making eyes at my Prue. Underhanded type. I told him where to get off, don't you worry. And I'd have given him a good hiding too if he tried his luck with her. I suppose it was a bit awkward us being on such bad terms like that, though.
What are you doing with that bird?
Was it?
All right, you monkey. Come on, the game's up.
Why, you, Tom! Oh! That's the dust up you want, is it? All right, my beauty. Give me that gun. You swine. Let go of it, blast. Oh. Get out, you. Trying to whistle down my throat, are you? Let go of that gun, you fool. I'll give you a right old face. Oh.
Uncle Tom! Uncle Tom!
Over here.
Well, hold the lighter!
Oh, my wrist. Leave go, then. Go on, let go.
Uncle Tom! Uncle Tom, are you all right? Uncle Tom!
Here, quick. Bring your torch. Hurry, Phil.
What's happened? Well, you're covered in blood.
I'm all right. Shine it on him down there. It's Bob Larkin.
Bob Oh, my God.
Silly fool. If he hadn't twisted and squirmed like that, he'd probably be alive today. But no. He wasn't man enough to stand still and take a pasting. Well, it wasn't my fault, was it? I mean, it's normal to carry a gun when you're a gamekeeper. Not that the police had the common sense to see it that way. First, the local boys turned up, and then Detective Inspector Worth. And it was almost dawn by that time.
He swung that 410 line there up towards me, you see, sir. I had to close with him and try to grab it in case he used it. And then, when we fell over through that hazel clump there, well, I don't know what happened. It went off.
I saw them crash through there and heard the bang.
Well, I must tell you I'm arresting you, Mr. Forrest.
What?
Arresting?
Yes. Arresting you on a charge of killing that man there, who I understand is identified as Bob Larkin.
Murder?
You're not obliged to say anything in answer to the charge, but anything you say may be taken down and used in evidence.
I never murdered anybody in my life.
Of course he didn't.
That's not for you to decide, Mr. Archer, or me, or the prisoner here. That's something that can only be decided in a court of law. Sorry, Mr. Forrest, but I'm going to have to take you in.
But you didn't have to stay in jail, did you, Uncle Tom?
Of course he didn't.
Well, I knew I was innocent. They had to let me go in the end. But first it was murder, then manslaughter, and then I was free at last.
But it was a terrible time for you, Tom.
Yes, it was. Terrible being shut up like that.
A man like you, who's always spent all of his life roaming about in the open air. I only have to think about what it would do to George.
I remember it well. Mum was so worried about you.
Oh, yes, but you remember when you come home?
I shall never forget it. Brought tears to me eyes.
Oh, there was the Bautista brass band playing
and free drinks in the bowl. Oh, what a day that was. I decided there and then that I didn't want to leave Ambridge again.
Louis, it's me! Come on through, Jennifer.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Come and sit down. Have something to eat.
Yes, I'll pour you some tea.
Oh, you're looking very glamorous, Jennifer.
Oh, this old thing? Oh, that's nothing very special.
Oh, trust me to turn up in my old jeans.
I just come from the Echo's office party.
Oh, did they have goings-on?
I hope Elizabeth wasn't joining in any goings-on.
It was all quite harmless, really. You know that game where you have to pass a matchbox through somebody's clothes?
No, but I reckon I'd like to learn.
You're too old for that sort of thing.
Oh, I ain't too old for a bit of slap and tickle.
There's no need to worry about Elizabeth. It wasn't a very dangerous party.
I think it seems a bit on the rude side.
Oh, here's your tea, Jennifer.
Have you got enough to eat there?
Oh, don't be such an old stick in the mud, Uncle Tom. You remind me of the way people used to go on when I was Elizabeth's age. And I didn't do too badly, did I?
Well...
Mum and Dad were always on at me, just like you and Phil go on at Elizabeth. And Dad was the worst. All he wanted me to do in life was stand behind the bar at the Bull pulling pints.
Well, he was full of ideas, your dad was.
Not a great one for carrying them out, though, was he?
No.
What's the use of hoping or expecting anything from kids? They go their own way in the end.
What did you want Jennifer to do, then? We never tried to dissuade her from being a teacher.
Because that was obviously what she wanted. But I'd have liked to see her go through the British Hotels and Catering Association course. Be apprenticed and go right through.
Yeah, just so she could run this place while you go gallivanting off every day, fishing or shooting or boozing with your mates.
Now, shut up. With our Jennifer properly trained for the job, not pitchforked into it willy-nilly like we were, we'd soon have this place the talk of the county.
What, the old Bull Inn at Ambridge? Never.
I've seen success stories built up out of far less promising material than the Bull. We run it quite well, but it doesn't have the touch of class that attracts the big spending tourists.
You mean you'd put special fancy foods on instead of the straightforward English dishes that we put on at the moment?
We'd reorganise everything. Make the dining rooms 3 times as big.
Well, where would you build them?
Over the bowling green.
Golly, that would be popular among the locals, I don't think.
It isn't the locals I'm trying to attract. It's the American tourists or industrialists from Hollerton who are prepared to buy expensive meals and take expensive wines to go with them.
I don't care what you say. If you did that to the ball, the whole atmosphere of the place would change.
And a good thing, too. Can't live forever in the past.
It's time we were open. And in any case, you talk about attracting the wealthy people, the big spenders. I vote we cater for the ordinary, everyday people as we are now.
To imagine you as a teenager, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I don't know.
Sometimes I look back on the 60s and think, how could I have? I mean, how could I remember all that peace and free love, Jill?
Me? I was too old for all that before it had even begun.
No. You old hippie, Jennifer.
I was a hippie. Now I'm just an old yuppie.
Is that some sort of a fish? Oh, just pass me another mince pie, Tom.
Oh, Jennifer, what would you like?
Oh, I'll have another sandwich, please.
All right.
Anyway, I was never really a committed hippie. I liked miniskirts as well as those patched jeans and that sort of thing. I couldn't bear to be formal. I remember at Sid Perks's wedding, Lillian and I had to really struggle into those awful bridesmaids' dresses. There. Ooh, what a fuss and palaver, and all for the sake of bringing together a man and woman in holy wedlock and all that caper.
Oh, come off it. You like dressing up as much as the next one.
Oh, yes, but not like this. I feel like something off a 1915 picture postcard.
Oh, you look very nice, actually, and I'm not kidding. That dress might seem over-feminine to you, but it does suit you.
Does it, do you reckon?
Definitely.
Well, I suppose I'd pass in a crowd. Oh, but give me the jeans or a miniskirt every time. Where's Mum? With the bride?
No, I think Mrs. Mead's with her. With Polly, I mean. Mum's putting the final touches to her own get-up. She looks very nice as well.
Yeah, Mum always comes out well on occasions like this. She pays for dressing up.
Well, I think that's about as far as I can go. The only thing to do now is to wait for the cars to arrive.
Oh, I'm ready too. Oh, pair of good girls, aren't we? Ready before time.
You really didn't like weddings much, did you?
No. And remember the scandal when I had Adam?
There's a few eyebrows to raise now.
Oh, rubbish. No one thinks anything of it these days.
Oh, yes, they do. If Elizabeth gets pregnant, I'll never forgive her.
But it must have been awful, really, Jennifer. I mean, in Ambridge.
Well, it was, rather.
Yes.
I was Ambridge's first unmarried mother.
No, you weren't. You wasn't the first, and I shouldn't think you'll be the last.
I was?
Rubbish. There's been lots of illegitimate babies born since the beginning of time.
People must have been awful to you.
Yes, they were. I moved down to Bristol in the end. First, I was terrified to tell anybody.
How long did you keep it a secret?
Well, not long. I went to the vicar and told him. I was too terrified to tell Mum and Dad. I never forget creeping into his study.
Parson has plenty of practice in the art of keeping a secret, you know. Have no fear. So out with it, Jennifer. What have you come to see me about, eh?
I've come to ask you a favour, Vicar.
Oh, yes?
I'm in a terrible mess, and yet it's my own fault. I don't blame anyone, and I'm going to face up to it. But sooner or later, my parents have got to be told, and that's just something I can't bring myself to do. And I wondered, Mr. Reeford, would you tell them? You see,
Yes? And what would you like me to tell them, my dear?
I'm going to have a baby.
I see. And when do you expect your baby to be born, Jennifer?
In about 6 months.
I see. And you've seen the doctor and found that everything is normal, I suppose?
Oh, yes. I've been seeing a doctor in Borchester. Everything's all right physically, but in other ways, socially, morally.
Yes. Socially, morally?
Legally.
Well, of course, those considerations bring you a lot of problems to deal with, don't they?
Yes, except, well, morally.
Do you want to discuss that aspect of it at this particular moment?
Well, don't you, Vicar? I mean, I thought you...
You thought I'd start to moralize at you, is that it? You expected a sermon, eh?
Well, yes.
My dear, what possible good would be served now by lecturing you on the virtues of chastity? It's a bit late, isn't it? Facts are facts, so let's deal with them. Now, in the first place, I'm sorry, but I couldn't agree to tell your parents for you.
Oh.
It wouldn't be fair either to them or to you.
to me, but it would make things so much easier.
If it would, my dear, I'd do it. But it won't. Whatever I said, however I put it, you would still have to face them sooner or later. I beg you, tell your parents. And those near to you will have to know, as soon as you can. But this I promise you. Once you have made a clean breast of things, then I'll be there to back you up. I'll come and see your people the same day if you let me know, if it's humanly possible.
What did Auntie Peggy say?
After the initial shock, she was very good.
But she'd got used to looking after Jack by then. She must have been ready for anything.
She went through a lot.
Jack wasn't too pleased about the baby, though, was he?
No, he threatened to chuck me out.
Yeah, Mrs. P didn't like it much either.
Oh, no, Granny P was awful about it. Took me years to learn any affection for her after that. Well, not years, months.
Did you marry Roger soon afterwards?
Soonish. He wasn't father, of course. Everybody knew that.
3 children by
three different men. Oh, Shula, yes. I think you've turned into an old prude since you've been married.
Oh, I don't mean it to sound like that. It's just, well...
And it's Debbie's birthday today, isn't it?
Yes, I never forget Debbie. I've always felt sorry for her being so close to Christmas.
Doesn't seem to have arrested her development. She's locked in her room listening to some awful music.
I remember when you were in the hospital having Debbie. We had a party here at Brookfield.
Oh, that was lovely, wasn't it?
Ah, I remember that. There was a lot of homemade wine.
Oh, strong stuff, eh?
Ah, Shula came and gave us a serenade.
I didn't, did I?
Yes, you did, dear.
No, it must have been Elizabeth.
No, it was you, on the recorder.
That's all your mum and dad could do to stop you from going on all night.
Oh, that can't have been me. I was such a shy thing.
Shy? You? I have to say it, Shula. Shy you weren't.
Laura, let me take your coat.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh, why aren't you all eating your grub? You haven't been waiting for me, have you?
Do you think we'd have dared start without you, Laura? Hey, how's things, Tony? Did you get your mother to Borchester safe and sound?
Yes, she's going to see Jennifer this afternoon.
Oh, good.
Adam sends his love, and a big kiss for you, Gran.
Oh, bless it.
Look, Uncle Tom, could you look after the drinks for me? Because I've got to go and organise a surprise that Shula's got for everyone.
Oh, yes?
Of course, Phil.
Good,
yes.
thanks. Back in a minute.
None of that for me, Tom. I'll have a brandy if you've got one.
Yeah, all right, Tom, I'll get it.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Now then, Chris, my love, can I top you up, eh?
Oh, no thanks, Uncle Tom. This really is a bit potent.
Oh, right up. How about you then, Tony?
Yes, please, Uncle
Can
Tom.
we have a
Right.
bit of hush,
here you
please? Quiet, everybody,
All right,
please.
quiet, everybody, quiet.
As you've probably gathered, Shula's had a tenor recorder for Christmas. Now she's mastered the descant, and before we eat, she wants to play a carol for us.
Come on then, Shula.
Well, first of all, I'd like to play the Holly and the Ivy, and then the Cottage.
Oh, no, I think just the one piece for now, love.
But, Daddy,
Off you go, Shula. We're all waiting.
Oh, very well, Mummy.
Oh, no. Oh, I couldn't have been so ghastly.
Not ghastly, exactly. Just keen to show us how good you were on the recorder.
Quite sweet, really.
Sweet? Oh, I must have been awful.
No, you weren't awful, dear.
A bit precocious, perhaps.
Well, you certainly knew your own mind.
Oh, I've heard of looking back in anger, but looking back in embarrassment.
20 years from now, you might be remembering this Christmas and cringing.
Oh, don't you listen to him, love. I've seen more Christmases than you and Jennifer put together, and there's no point in feeling embarrassed about the past.
No, that's right enough. No point at all. Everyone changes.
I think we've had quite enough looking back for one day.
Here, here, it's too agonising.
Mince pie, anyone?
Beyond Our Ken is a BBC radio comedy programme first broadcast between 1958 and 1964. It starred Kenneth Horne, with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marston, Bill Pertwee, and, as announcer, Douglas Smith. The title is a play on the name Kenneth and the familiar expression, beyond our ken, ken being a mainly Northern English and Scots word meaning knowledge or perception.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the BBC takes a random dip into its seasonal bram tub and comes up with... Oh, look what we've got.
A Beyond Our Ken musical extravaganza.
Oh, well, you can't be lucky every time.
Beyond Our Ken proudly presents Island Treasure, breathtaking spectacle in glorious Horner color.
Hear it on the new wide microphone.
It took 8 years to make. I was just a child when it started.
Neither was I.
Island Treasure is packed with excitement. See Kenneth Williams fight the giant anaconda. See Hugh Paddock as the villainous Long John Silver.
I wouldn't leave my little wooden leg for you.
See Betty Marsden as the only woman alone on board a ship full of men.
They're so demanding. I've never darned so many socks in my life.
See the new Kenneth Horne, the gay, romantic Kenneth Horne. Yes, all this and 20 new hit songs from the pen of Irving Creekwhistle.
Well, that's just a foretaste of what's in store.
This production of Island Treasure is having its world premiere tonight at the Corn Exchange, Titchfield. And the BBC has made arrangements to bring you this show. You'd think they'd have something better to do. Oh, well, first of all, we're going over to the foyer to meet some of the celebrities attending this glittering first night. So over now to our commentator, Cecil Snaith.
Hello, listeners. This is Cecil Snaith speaking to you from the Corn Exchange, Titchfield. What a throng of gay, sophisticated first-nighters there are here.
Get away! Go on, shoot!
Ah, over there, I've just spotted a very well-known BBC personality, fellow commentator of mine.
I say, glad to see you made it. Did you have a good journey down?
Well, the going was very hard, and I got away to a good start, and for the first few miles it was neck and neck with a bubble car, but I managed to hold off a challenge from a fast sports car, then coming into the home stretch down the Titchfield High Road, across the headed traffic lights, and a lady cyclist coming up on the inside, very fast indeed, 250 yards to go. A Rolls-Royce making his effort on the near side, now 150 yards to go. And at the post office, it was a clear win for me by 2 lengths, with a bubble car second and a Rolls-Royce third.
Well done, and nice to see you again, Audrey Russell.
And here's a regular first-nighter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, now, what do you think this show will be like?
Heaven knows I shan't bother to watch the wretched thing. I'll be in the bar, or boy, I might pop in for half an hour or so for a nap, but that's all.
Oh, well, then why did you come in the first place?
I have to, old boy. I'm a dramatic critic.
Well, now, most of the celebrities have gone in now, so it's time for me to join them inside.
Tickets, please, sir.
Don't be silly. I don't need a ticket.
You do to get in here. No one gets in without a ticket.
But I'm from the BBC.
That's your problem. I'm afraid you couldn't get in here if you were Cecil Snaith himself.
But I am Cecil Snaith.
Well, there you are, sir. I've just told you. You can't get in.
But you don't understand. The BBC are broadcasting this show.
All right, then I'll compromise. Your microphone can go in, but you can't.
But how shall I know what's going on?
Well, if I were you, I'd listen to it on the wireless.
Oh, no, I say, now look here, my man.
You'd better hurry, too.
Thank you, and on behalf of the cast, may I welcome you to our show. I would like to thank the Dagenham Girl Pipers for their cooperation. They're nothing to do with the show, but they have been most cooperative. The costumes for the show were provided by the well-known lady costumier Miss Fitz of Hackney, with the exception of the Long John Silver outfit, which was kindly lent to us by Miss Alma Cogan. I should point out that we've done a long tour with Island Treasure, and there's been a certain amount of rewriting. To give you an idea of how much, well, when we started this production, it was cat on a hot tin roof. However, providing there haven't been any further rewrites while I've been speaking to you, you're now going to be treated to our production of Island Treasure, which, need I say, is a backward version of Treasure Island. Mr. Fennelly, overture, please.
Treasure Island, where the gold was left back at the flint. If we get that stuff, then sure enough, we will never, ever more be skint. Treasure Island, we shall find it, never mind the risk.
And we hereby state that
piece of 8 is our favorite desert island disc.
Oh, we're sailing off into the blue
with a right crowd of Charlies as crew.
When we spy, we'll give a joyous cry. We'll be there on that fabulous island, Treasure Island.
So, Squire Trelawney, you say you have a map showing the exact whereabouts of Captain Flint's treasure, and you want my ship, the Hispaniola, to take you there. Show me, is that the plot?
Well, yes, you've outlined it very well. Actually, the map belongs to young Jim Hawkins.
Jim Hawkins?
Yes, we couldn't afford Jack Hawkins. Jim's coming along as cabin boy.
What about his education?
I'll take care of that. I'll be a sort of gym teacher. Oh, he's a good lad. Keen to learn about the sea. I left him practicing dropping the anchor.
Ow! Whoa! Whoa! Cool.
Oh, I wonder who he's dropped it on this time. Jim, come here a minute.
Come in, Squire. Ooh, hello, Captain. What a nice ship you've got. I've just been up at the front.
The front? Bow, boy, bow.
Well, why should I? I won't get any applause. Here, I've been trying to get off with that lady sitting in the front of the ship.
Oh, Jim, that's the figurehead. It's made of wood.
Oh, no wonder she wasn't very talkative. I thought she was just plain hard to get.
Well, Hawkins, what have you been doing on board?
Oh, nothing much. I just popped into the poop, had a peep, and popped out again.
Well, Squire, I've got a sign on the crew. All right, over here, line up. Name?
Cutthroat Fred, first mate. Bloodthirsty Sam, second mate.
Murderous Albert, third mate.
Gladys Rumbold, everybody's mate.
Oh, very able-bodied, I must say.
A woman? We can't have a woman on a treasure cruise?
I thought it was a pleasure cruise.
It probably will be.
I say she can't go on board. I forbid it.
Gladys, now, nip off and disguise yourself as a man. Then you can sign on as Bloodthirsty Gladys Rumbold.
Next.
Evil George.
Next.
Chipati Clapham.
Next.
Good heavens, it's Pat Lancaster. I'm afraid you can't sign on, Pat.
No, I've only come down to see you on your way.
Well, pity you can't sing us on our way.
Oh, but I can. Look, there's the Variety Orchestra all lined up on the quay.
Oh, well, it'll be the first time they've ever been on key. Sing, Pat.
I've always found it easy to say no to some over-anxious Joe. In my time, I've turned any amount down. But with you, I can't resist. 'Cause before we've even kissed, my heart begins to start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Bang! I'm cool, calm and collected. Then I see your face. My control is projected into outer space. I can't wait to be loved by you. Bring out the beast in me, baby, do. May feel drowsy and lazy till you ring my bell. Then for action I'm crazy, baby, can't you tell? I light up at the sight of you. Bring out the beast in me, baby, do. Love is basic, needs no subtle overtures. Love may vary, but I'm just crazy over yours. When you do to my system, no one's done before. Take my arms, baby, twist them if you want some more. My responses depend on you. Bring out the beast in me, baby, do. Love is basic, out the beast in me. Baby, bring out the beast. Baby, do.
Jolly nice, Pat. Ah, well, back in character. Captain, are all the crew assembled?
We're still waiting for Long John Silver. Ah, there he is. Hi-ho, Silver!
Hold on there, mateys. I'm coming as quick as I can. Oh. Ooh. Curses, I'm stuck in a grating. Give us a leg up, young'un.
All right, yeah.
Thank you, matey. Don't he be afraid of poor old Long John. I be just a harmless, bloodthirsty cutthroat.
Well, come along, man. You're keeping us waiting.
I'm sorry I'm late, matey. I've been hopping in Kent.
Yeah, look, he's got a pirate on his shoulders.
Oh, so he has. Does he speak, Long John?
Ah, he do that. He speaks right proper, he do, don't he, Polly?
I certainly do. And let's face it, Silver, I speak a jolly sight better than you do.
You see, be a real scholarly bird. I wanted to have an education I never had. He went to a public school, you know.
Eden? Not recently, no.
That's a very old joke.
I happen to be a very old bird.
Well, now, Long John, you ought to be our cook, then.
I am that. I hope your ship be well stocked with beef.
Yes, it is.
Good. Then I'll be a happy man. I'll get below with the two things I like most in the world. Boiled beef and parrot. Boiled beef and parrot.
Well, Jim, come on. We'd better get aboard. Oh, look, the sails are opening.
Good. We may be able to pick up a couple of cheap laughs.
Batten your hatches!
Aye, aye, sir!
Loosen your mainstays!
Aye, aye, sir!
That's better. Trelawney, I don't like it.
Well, neither do I. I'm afraid it was the only record the BBC had. Never mind. Well, Captain, we've been at sea for 3 weeks now. I must say the crew seem to be settling down well.
I wouldn't be too sure. I don't trust that Long John Silver. There's something evil brewing.
Yes, he calls it shepherd's pie.
I don't mean that. It's the men. There's something going on. Everywhere I look, there are strange little groups of them, whispering, plotting. Just look at those two bloodthirsty specimens on the upper deck.
Yes, I wonder what they're saying.
Hello, Rodney.
Hello, Charles. I say, do you like my get-up?
Most colourful, Rodney. I love your accessories. 2 cutlasses, 3 knives, a brace of pistols, and a marlin's patch.
Yes, I'm really dressed to kill. And I say, what do you think of my tit-for?
It knocks mine into a cocked hat.
Oh, I don't know. The silk scarf and earrings are very becoming.
Yes, but everyone on board's wearing them. Most disconcerting. If I'd known, I just wouldn't have come on this cruise.
Still, after all, the food's not bad.
No, I suppose the cook does his best. But let's face it, Rodders, this Long John Silver is no bon vivant. I must say one gets a little tired of salt beef every day.
Are you going in for the new competition? Guess the height of the mast.
Certainly not, Rod. Whole thing's rigged. Anyway, we're supposed to be cleaning the deck this morning, and the first mate said to be sure to clean underneath the cannon.
No, I don't feel like it. Come on, let's scrub round it.
Come on, you two lazy lubbers. Jump to it, or you're going to taste to the rope's end.
Well, that'll make a change from salt beef.
You see, Trelawney, their insolence is growing. I tell you, there's something very peculiar going on board this ship. Another thing, there's one of the crew that keeps going into the powder room.
Well, what's so unusual about that?
With a handbag. Look, there he goes again.
Oh, it's all right, Captain. I'll deal with this. She must have got on board, all right. Psst, I say, hello, Gladys.
What did he call me, Squire?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was somebody else.
Were you looking for me, Squire.
Oh, there you are. All right, Gladys, you can take off your eye patch and beard now.
Very good disguise, don't you think?
Yes, but I don't think you should have worn a dress.
What's the meaning of this? I thought I said no women aboard.
All right, Captain, I'll take the responsibility of Miss Rumbold. She can help with the navigation. I'm sure she'd be willing to show us our longitude.
Of course.
And I hope a certain amount of latitude, too. Come, Gladys, join me in a drink. Here's my cabin. Now, then, what about a spot of rum?
Rum? Oh, no, I never drink that stuff. You know what they say? You can't get a man with a rum.
Oh, don't you believe it? Rum for two, and two for rum.
Well, I'm your pal.
And I'm your chum, 'cause having rum is so much fun together. It's lovely snogging when you've got a noggin.
It always enhances those shipboard romances.
We won't have it known, dear, that we've got a keg down here.
We can have a private spree.
A tot for you and a tot for me. Oh, can't you see how tiddly we will be?
Yeah.
Come in. Oh, you're in. Good.
Yeah.
Yes?
I overheard everything.
Oh, well, look, here's a doubloon. You keep quiet.
No, I wasn't listening outside this door. I've been inside a barrel of apples.
Good heavens, why?
I was just polishing off a few pippins. But guess what I heard? They're planning a mutiny.
What, who are the apples?
No, the crew. It's Long John Silver. He's planning to grab the treasure for himself.
Well done, Jim Hawkins. This is valuable information. How fortunate you were hiding in that barrel of apples.
Well, you know me. I'd do anything for the cause.
Well, that's really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Come on, Jim. We must tell the captain. So you see, Captain, that's how it is. Now you know the whole story.
Well, I didn't hear all of it because of that blasted music link. But you say Long John plans to take the treasure when we get ashore?
Well, that's true, but how far are we from Treasure Island?
We're a long way from the original version.
We should be in sight of land soon. I'll ask the lookout. Hey there, you up there in the crow's nest, what can you see?
Hold on, sir. I'll have a shifty through my spyglass. Oh, yes. I spy with my little eye something beginning with S. It's a sailing ship steering a course south by south-southeast. She's a schooner, judging by the set of her sails. Oh, yes, she is. I can distinctly see her name. It's the SS Hispaniola.
Oh, that's us, you fool.
Oh, yes, sir, it is. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I got my spyglass upside down.
Can't you see any land, eh?
Sorry, I can't see a thing.
Why not?
I'm blinded by the spray.
Oh, what a lookout. I shall have to get rid of him if he doesn't mind his P's and Q's.
It's his S's you want to worry about.
Shh, listen. There's murmurings coming from the forecastle.
Oh, it's only some of the men singing?
What are they singing?
It sounds like the folks that live on the hill.
No, it's not. Come on, let's get closer and we can listen.
Johnny, come down to high-low.
Shiver my timbers, it's the Fraser Hayes Fall.
I haven't seen the like since I was born, when an old sea captain with his sea boots on said, Johnny, come down to high-low. Poor old man. Oh, wake her, oh, shake her, oh, wake that girl with the blue dress on when Johnny comes down to high-low. Poor old man. I love a little girl across the sea. She's a Bedouin beauty, and she says to me, oh, Johnny, come down to high-low. Poor old man. Oh, wake her, oh, shake her, oh, wake that girl with the blue dress on when Johnny comes down to high-low. Poor old man. Were you ever down in Mobile Bay, where they dig long praying records every day? Oh, Johnny, come dig the high-lows for cool man. Who's the best dressed in the studio, smart and gay? Who is the star of BOK? Whose head is as bare as liner? Poor old Ken. Did you ever see the old plantation bus? And the long-tailed filly and the big black horse? I never seen the like since I was born. When an old sea captain with the sea boots on says, Johnny, come down to high-low. Poor old man, oh wake her, oh shake her, oh wake that girl with the blue dress on. When Johnny comes down to high-low, poor old man.
Well, they don't write shanties like that nowadays.
Land ahoy! Land ahoy!
How close are we to land?
Does that answer your question?
Right, all hands on deck. Prepare to disembark. At last, we're at Treasure Island.
Jim Hawkins, come here a minute, matey.
Why is it, Long John?
Where be Squire Trelawney and that Miss Rumbold?
They've gone off to explore the island.
Likely story. Now, Jim, that map you have showing where the treasure's buried, give it to me, matey.
No, I won't. No, stop messing about.
Come on, you don't hand it over, I'll slit your gizzard.
What a vulgar fellow you are, Silver.
Belt up, Polly, I'll slit your gizzard and all. Now, Jim, listen to old Long John. I'll do a swap with you. You give me that map, and you can have this new shiny pistol of mine.
Right, here's the map.
Thank you. Here's the pistol.
Thank you. Now stick 'em up. Come on, give me back my map.
You cunning little devil. Oh, here's your map back.
Yeah.
Now, give me back my pistol.
Yeah.
That's it. Stick 'em up. Now, hand over the map.
Only if you give me my pistol.
All right, here it is.
Oh dear, here we go again.
Now carefully, Gladys. Mind where you tread. This is a dangerous stretch of swamp. Now, carefully. That's it. Now, steady. Right. You can put me down now.
I'm frightened, Squire. You never know who might be about on this island. I have a feeling we're being watched.
Well, we're not doing anything we shouldn't.
Oh, no, of course, it was cut out, wasn't it?
Anyway, I doubt if there's anyone living on this island.
Don't you be too sure.
What was that, Gladys?
I said, don't you be too sure.
Oh, good gracious. Look, behind you, a dirty old man.
Oh, hello, Jakes Brown. I haven't...
No, my name is Ben Gunn.
Ben Gunn, but who are you?
I'm the only man on the island.
And how long you been here, Mr. Gunn?
Ever since Captain Flint fired me. I've been here alone now for 65 years. I've never seen a woman in all that time. I don't even remember what one looks like.
Well, I'm one.
Well, I haven't missed much, have I?
Did you say you were with Captain Flint?
Yes, I was one of his lighter men.
Well, we have a map showing Flint's buried treasure.
No, it's no good. I've moved it. I'm the only one who knows where it is.
Well, would you be prepared to lead us to the treasure, Ben Gunn?
I will if I get a share of it.
Oh, of course. All right, Gladys. Have Gunn will travel.
One more thing, mister. You take me back to England with you. I left home 65 years ago.
Well, then you must be anxious to get back.
Yes, I've a funny feeling I left the gas on. Come on then, follow me.
Meanwhile, back at the camp.
Now, I'll give you the map if you give me the pistol back.
Oh, all right, here you are then.
Right, stick 'em up. Hand over that map.
All right, Long John. Stand right where you are.
Curses, fired again.
Well, it's your own fault, Silver. You really are the stupidest old buccaneer I've ever seen.
I may be, but I'm still a good cook, and boiled parrots on the menu. Come here, Polly, or slit your gizzard from here.
No, you mustn't. No.
Well, now, that's got rid of Long John Silver.
Hooray!
Right has triumphed over evil.
Hooray!
And as for the treasure, well, there's enough here for everyone.
Hooray!
Come on, let's get the treasure back to England.
Hooray.
Just a minute, who are you?
The Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Whoa! Good gracious, who shot the Chancellor in his exchequer?
I did.
Gladys, why?
Well, after all, we should have a happy ending.
Hooray! Our show has run its charted course. Quite clever, if not good. We've all learned something from it. Next year, Robin Hood.
Treasure Island, where we found the elderly gun. Now the pirates' is on our home as we sail into the setting sun. So with a sigh, we wish you all goodbye, and we hope you've enjoyed Treasure Island. Treasure Island.
You have either been listening to What Have Just Missed, Beyond Our Ken's seasonal offering, Island Treasure. The various parts were played by a versatile cast, including Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Bill Pertwee, and Kenneth Horn. Patricia Lancaster, the Fraser Hayes Four, and the BBC Variety Orchestra, conducted by Paul Feneley, provided a welcome relief from the script, which was, of course, written by those two pirates, Eric Merriman and Barry Took. Your announcer was Douglas Smith, and the whole ghastly business was produced by bloodthirsty Jakes Brown.
Maigret's Christmas Day in Paris, and Maigret and his wife are visited by a neighbor who hopes the sleuth might help her solve the case of the girl who claims to have seen Father Christmas. With Maria Charles, Jane Slovin, Joseph Bennett, Christopher Wright, Malcolm Ward and Kira Jansen.
Go to sleep.
Do
Maigret's Christmas by Georges Simenon. Adapted for radio by John Petherbridge. Maigret's Christmas.
À la voûte des cieux, sous les toits
You're up.
Happy Christmas, dear.
Happy Christmas, Maigret. I thought you'd still be in bed. You usually have a lie-in on Christmas morning.
I was awake, so I thought I might as well get up.
I was going to bring you breakfast in bed. I just made the coffee and I've been out to get the croissant.
We could eat in here.
Lovely to see the children out playing on their new bicycles.
Yeah, we won't get a moment's peace all day. What with the sound of bike bells and tin drums and pop guns and all the rest of the paraphernalia.
Oh, don't be such a misery. Come and sit down and have your coffee before it gets cold. Maigret?
Do you know those women?
What women?
Those two down there staring up at our flat.
Ah, that's Mademoiselle Doncoeur. She lives opposite.
And the younger one?
She lives in the same block. I don't know her name, but I often see her out in the street with a young girl. I think somebody told me she wasn't hers, but she's a delightful child. I buy her sweets sometimes when she's out there playing on her own. Come to think of it, I haven't seen her lately.
Well, if anything's happened to her, my guess is you'll soon find out. They look as if they're coming into the building to see me.
Oh, I hope not. I haven't cleaned anywhere.
You and your housework.
You don't understand.
Flat looks perfectly all right to me.
And you haven't started your breakfast.
Oh, is the inspector in?
If he's busy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm Mademoiselle Doncoeur, and this is my neighbour, Madame Martin.
Hello.
We are awfully sorry to disturb him, but something rather funny happened last night, and I thought it was our duty to tell the inspector about it.
I'm sure there's a perfectly simple explanation.
You'd better come in.
Yeah, oh, thank you. I told you the inspector wouldn't mind. He's always helping people out. It's very good of you to see us like this.
Oh, you've already said that twice.
So, tell me if I've got this right. You two are neighbours.
We live across the corridor from each other.
And you, Madame Martin, live with your husband Jean and his niece Colette.
Yes. Oh, her mother was killed in an automobile accident 2 years ago, and it sent her father, Jean's brother, Paul, a bit funny. You see, he blames himself for the accident. Well, it was his fault. He was drunk at the time. And since then, Colette has lived with us.
So you, Mademoiselle Doncoeur, had just come back from Mass this morning?
Yes, it must have been about 7:30. You might have seen the light in my window.
Yes, go on.
I wanted to give Colette a few little presents, nothing very expensive. Just little things I got for her.
Colette broke her leg a couple of months ago and has been confined to bed with it in plaster ever since.
So at about 8 o'clock, I went across the landing and Madame Martin let me in to see her. Oh, happy Christmas, Colette! Oh, look what Father Christmas left in my flat for you.
I saw him. Who did you see?
Father Christmas.
Oh, don't be so stupid.
Father Christmas only visits little girls when they're asleep.
But I did. He had a white beard and a red coat.
Oh, sometimes, Colette, you go too far.
But I did see him. I did.
Look, stop it, Colette, or I'll give you a good slap, even if it is Christmas.
But I did see him. Look what he left me.
And with that, she lifted the bedclothes and showed us this magnificent doll.
You didn't give her the doll, did you?
On my husband's salary. I did buy her a much smaller one from the Galerie Lafayette, but of course that won't be nearly good enough for her now. I'm sure it's Jean or Paul playing some sort of trick.
Was your husband home last night?
No, he's away working in the Dordogne. He's a sales representative for Zenith Watches.
Do you know where he's staying?
Hotel de Bordeaux in Bergerac.
Mm-hmm. Have you told him what happened?
We don't have a phone. He'll be back for the new year. I'll tell him then.
Colette told us that after Father Christmas had given her the doll, he told her to go to sleep. But she only pretended and saw him crouch down and lift up some of the floorboards.
That child has got too much imagination.
You didn't hear anything?
No. Oh, Colette's room has 2 doors, one of which opens directly onto the landing. Apparently her room used to be let out separately.
And that door was locked?
Well, of course it was. What do you take me for? Well, I'm sorry, but really, she may not be my child, but I do my best to look after her.
Was there any sign of the lock being forced?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a famous police inspector, am I?
Was there a hole in the floor?
Oh, no, not a hole exactly. But it did look to me as if someone had prized up some of the floorboards and then put them back down.
Tell me, Madame Martin, do you have any idea what might have been under there?
No, Inspector.
No idea at all?
No, Inspector.
Have you and your husband been living in the flat for long?
Oh, since we got married 5 years ago.
And do you know who lived there before you?
Jean lived there on his own.
Did you go out last night?
No, Inspector.
Any visitors?
Inspector!
Were there?
I don't receive visitors when my husband is away.
No, of course not. And this morning you found nothing missing?
Nothing at all.
Who's looking after Colette now?
She's playing with her new doll. Well, I can't stay in all the time. I have to go out sometimes, if only to do the shopping.
If I know Madame is out, I'll pop my head round the door and check that Colette is all right.
Mm-hmm. Does her father, Paul, see her often?
When it suits him and he's not too drunk.
Do you know where he lives?
Well, we've seen him in the Bastille area, begging, but I don't know where he lives, if anywhere.
Mightn't he have dressed up as Father Christmas and visited Colette?
It's the only explanation. But Mademoiselle here insisted that we should come and see you.
Why would he have bothered to lift the floorboards?
Probably looking for a bottle. Quite frankly, knowing Paul as I do, I'm not that worried.
Are you expecting him today?
Oh, I never expect him. If he's been drinking, he won't show his face. At least I'll say this for him. He always tries to make himself sober when he sees Colette.
Do you mind if I come across and have a little chat with Colette?
Oh, I've told you everything.
Yes, all the same, I'd like to have a word with her.
I can't stop you, can I?
I'll be across later this morning after I've had some breakfast and a shave.
We'll see you later, Inspector. Thank you so much for seeing us.
Sorry.
Inspector.
Are you leaving? Oh, Madame Maigret.
No.
Operator.
Police headquarters, Sûreté.
You're through.
Sûreté.
That you, Lucas?
Yes, Chief.
You busy?
Just the usual Christmas Day stuff.
Good. I'd like you to do something for me.
Yes, Chief.
I want you to find out where a certain Paul Martin, alcoholic of no fixed abode, spent last night. Apparently, he often hangs out in the Bastille district, so start with the local police stations and flop houses.
Got it.
And find out what his brother, Jean, did last night, and whether he received any phone calls or telegrams. He's staying at the Hotel Bordeaux in Bergerac.
Something happened.
A little girl claims to have seen Father Christmas. That smells good.
Oh, close the door. I don't want the smell of onions all over the flat. You don't think Cottage is in any danger, do you?
No, I don't think so.
It would be awful for her without a proper mother. You'll be back for lunch.
Oh, yes. I don't expect to be over there very long.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course you can. What is it?
Are you happy?
What a question.
But are you?
What's brought this on all of a sudden?
Oh, just thinking of children like Colette, who don't have proper parents when there's so many of us who long for the chance to. Doesn't matter. It's just me being silly. You'd better go and speak to Colette.
Quand tu me frôles, ça me fait drôle, jusque dans le dos. Quand tu vires, ça me chavire, le petit boulot. Viens, pépine, viens pas jeter dans la peau.
Oh, mademoiselle.
She's gone out shopping, Inspector.
Oh.
It's all right. I've got the key. Madame Martin asked me to keep an eye on Colette until she returns.
Mademoiselle Donker!
Yes, it's me, Colette. Hello, dear. I brought this nice gentleman to see you.
Are you really a policeman?
I told her about you.
Yes, I'm Inspector Maigret, but there's no need to be frightened.
I'm not frightened. Do you like my new doll?
Is that the one Father Christmas brought you last night?
It's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, do you mind if Colette and I have a little chat on our own?
Oh, of course not, Inspector. I know how you work. I've read all your cases in Le Temps.
Oh, really?
That's the door he must have come through. You can see some scratches by the latch. Are you going to take some fingerprints?
We'll see.
Well, if you need me, I'll be in the kitchen.
Do you think it was Father Christmas who came to see me last night?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Maman Lorraine doesn't think so.
Do you like Maman Lorraine?
Yes, monsieur.
And your papa?
I've got two papas, Papa Paul and Papa Jean.
When did you last see Papa Paul?
I don't remember. He said he would bring me a special present for Christmas. I think he must be poorly.
Is he often poorly?
Yes, because you know when he's poorly, he doesn't come and see me.
And what about Papa Jean?
He's away now, but he said he would be back for New Year. He's going to get a job in Paris, and then he won't ever have to go away ever again.
And you'll like that?
Oh, yes. He's nice to me.
I expect you've had lots of visitors since your accident.
No, we never have visitors.
Oh.
It's ever so boring being in bed all the time.
And Maman Lorraine, does she ever have visitors?
I don't think so.
Never?
Only the gas man and the electricity man, but they don't count, do they?
No one else?
The insurance man? Does he count?
When did he come?
He came 2 times.
The first time, can you remember when that was?
The day after I hurt my leg.
Did you see him?
No, but I heard him talking to Maman Lorraine.
Did you hear what they said?
No, I could only hear their voices.
That's all right. What about the second time? Do you remember when that was?
A few days ago. He started shouting and I got frightened. And Maman Lorraine came into my room and said it was all right and I must go to sleep.
Yeah.
Do you think I'll be able to keep my new doll?
I should think so.
Maman Lorraine gave me a new doll, but it's not nearly as good. She said she's going to take it back to the shop because she says I don't need 2 dolls.
Is this where Father Christmas made a hole in the floor?
I think so. You see, he was going to give the little boy who lives underneath us his Christmas present.
Well, let's have a look.
Can you see him?
Ah.
You won't find anything down there, Inspector.
Madame Martin.
She's been good.
She's been most helpful.
I'm sorry I missed you, but when I got back, I realised there were a few bits and bobs I had to get, and I know most of the shops will be closed later.
Oh, it's you.
Well, who did you think it'd be?
I was in your kitchen.
Good, good. Now, would you mind sitting with Colette while I have a chat with Madame Martin?
Anything to help you, Inspector.
Well, can we get this over with quickly? I've the shopping to put away and lunch to cook.
You can do that while we're talking, can't you?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, of course, she's in love with you.
Who is?
That old maid, Mademoiselle Donker. Must have made her Christmas having an excuse to visit you in your flat.
Where did you do your shopping?
Oh, Just locally. The Rue de Chemin Vert and the Rue Amelot.
And you've been away nearly 2 hours.
Never.
Mademoiselle Doncoeur said you went straight out as soon as you got back from seeing me.
Not straight out. It may have escaped your attention, Inspector, but I was not wearing these clothes when I came to see you.
But you left here as soon as you'd changed?
Well, if you say so. I admit I didn't rush back, but there's no crime in that, is there? Besides, I knew she was keeping an eye on Colette.
What did you buy?
See for yourself, Inspector. 3 tins of sardines, ham, butter, potatoes. Satisfied?
But there are sardines on the shelf.
Well, I thought I'd stock up.
Do you go out to work?
What with having to look after Jean and the flat and Colette?
What about before you were married?
Of course I worked. I had to earn my living like everyone else.
Where did you work?
Lots of places. I did clerical work. What's this got to do with anything?
I don't know.
Look, if you don't mind, I'd like to start preparing lunch.
It was you, Madame Martin, who came over to see me.
Only because she insisted.
You don't like Mademoiselle Doncoeur?
I don't like people who can't mind their own business.
And she doesn't?
Any excuse and she's round here on some pretext or other. I only have to put my head round the front door and she's there asking with that simpering smile of hers whether I'm going to leave Colette all on her own.
You resent looking after Colette.
Do you have children, Inspector?
No, madam.
Well, you wouldn't understand. You know, we didn't have to take Colette in after the accident.
But you did?
Yes. And I do everything I can for that girl. I treat her just as I would my own daughter.
I'm sure you do. Just one last question. Have you the name of your insurance agent?
My insurance agent?
The one who came to see you a few days ago.
Oh, him. Oh, you have been doing your detective work.
Do you know his name?
No. Well, I wasn't going to do anything like that without Jean being here.
He's been here before?
Yes, but I'm sure you know that. He came twice. He was most persistent. Is that all now?
For the time being. Now I'd like a few words with Mademoiselle Doncoeur.
Mademoiselle, your inspector wants to talk to you.
Please, keep your coat on, Inspector. I know it's not very warm in here, but living on my own, I don't use this room very often.
Tell me, Mademoiselle Doncoeur, have you recently received any visits from an insurance agent?
I don't think so. Well, let me think. No, I'm quite sure no one like that has come round here for a long time.
You don't like Madame Martin?
Let me just say that if I had a son, I would not want her as my daughter-in-law.
Is she unfaithful to
Oh,
her?
no, nothing like that, no. Well, if she is, she's very discreet about it.
So there's never been any scandal attached to her since she moved here?
Well, not that I can think of. Apart from that business of her job, but, well, you really can't call that scandal.
I thought she didn't work.
Oh, she doesn't now, but she did for the first few months after she was married.
What happened?
From what I gather, she was working at this jeweller's shop in the Palais Royal for a man called... Oh, well, let me think. Monsieur Laurier. Yes, that's right, that was his name, Laurier. Anyway, one day she went to work in the normal way, only to find the shop locked and no sign of Monsieur Laurier. And he hasn't been seen since. Do you think his disappearance had anything to do with what happened last night?
I don't know. But I'm sure I'll find out.
Oh, no, we've only just finished lunch.
I'll do it. Maigret?
It's me, Chief.
Ah, right, Lucas. What have you got for me?
We had a bit of luck with Paul Martin.
Yes.
Right. Last night, after Christmas dinner at the Salvation Army barge at Pont Neuf, he went to a nightclub in the Latin Quarter, where he worked as doorman for a few hours. At about 2 this morning, he finished there and went to a bar, got drunk and was picked up by the local police at around 4.
Oh, yes.
He had only just been released when I contacted them. he's still had a few francs left in his pocket, so the likelihood is that he's probably back on the drink.
Yeah.
His usual bar is Chez Bernard in the Place de la Bastille. Not far from you, sir.
Yeah, good. What about his brother, Jean? Did you find out if he received any calls last night?
Yes. Apparently he did receive a call at his hotel late last night, but by the time he reached the phone, the caller had rung off. The receptionist reckons that someone was checking up on whether he was actually at the hotel.
Anything else?
He's coming back to Paris. Apparently he got wind of my inquiries and became quite agitated. He's catching a train which should get him into Paris at around 11 tonight.
Right. Oh, one other thing I want you to do.
Yes, Chief?
Find out from police records what you can about a man called Lorieux. He disappeared suddenly from his jewellery shop in the Palais Royal 5 years ago.
Right, Chief.
Now. Your sister never fails with her plum brandy.
It must be awful for a girl of that age to have to spend Christmas Day in bed.
Still thinking about her?
Well, it must be. Any idea how much longer she's going to have her leg in plaster?
No, I don't know. I didn't ask. Why?
Well, if she's been laid up in bed for 2 months, I don't imagine it'll be much longer before she's up and about on crutches.
And free to leave her room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it means that anybody wanting to give the room a thorough search would only have to wait till then.
Perhaps there was some reason they couldn't wait.
Yes, exactly. Jean Martin would have been back from his rounds in a couple of days.
Any idea of what they were looking for?
Oh, I don't know. But if they didn't find whatever it was last night, then my guess is that it won't be long before they try again. Right.
Where are you going?
To see Paul Martin.
This afternoon? You said we could go and see the new Jean Gabin at the Grand Rex.
I'm sorry.
On Christmas Day? I'm sorry. I know you've got your job. It's just that I was so looking forward to it.
Well, perhaps we can go tomorrow when this business is all cleared up.
That's what you always say? Make sure you wrap up warm.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to snow.
Beer. Paul Martin here.
Who wants him?
That him over there by the billiard table?
If you say so. Here's your beer.
You Paul Martin?
Oh, is that your beer?
You want one? Beer for my friend over here, please.
Another beer.
I know you. You're Inspector Maigret. You live opposite my brother.
Right.
Something's happened to Colette.
No.
What's happened to her? What's happened to my poor Colette?
Calm down. Nothing's happened to Colette.
Oh, I'm so hopeless. So hopeless. I can't even look after my own kid. Not even at Christmas. I'm so awful.
One beer.
Oh.
Last night a man dressed as Father Christmas got into her room.
You said...
No, it's all right. Nothing happened. The man didn't touch Colette. He gave her an enormous doll and then proceeded to look under the floorboards for something.
Why?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Tell me, is your brother Jean the sort of man to hide something under the floorboard, something he didn't want his wife to know about?
Jean doesn't have any secrets from Lorraine. He wouldn't dare.
You don't like her very much, do you?
My poor wife said it was very convenient, but Lorraine married a man who was away so much. Oh, perhaps I shouldn't have left Colette with her.
Colette's all right.
I was going to see her today. My own kid on Christmas Day, and I'm drunk.
Well, sure.
I should have drowned with my wife in the accident, and then everybody would have been
happy.
You
know that's not true.
Oh, you can say that. But you don't know what it's like being on the streets at Christmas. It's so cold. There's nowhere to go. So you go into a bar for a bit of warmth, and someone takes pity on you, buys you a drink, then another. And then when you've had a few drinks, it hits you. And you remember, you were going to stay sober and see your kid. But once again, you failed and you feel so awful. You go on drinking.
Do you want to see Colette?
I can't. Not like this.
You can come back to my flat and get yourself cleaned up.
Can I? Oh, you know I'm not always like this. Once I went to see a doctor for advice. But when I went back again a few days later, there was a big queue and he told me he hadn't time to talk to me. I had to go to a special clinic.
And you never went. Come on, let's go.
Listen, I
Come
did
on.
try.
Yeah.
I did.
Come on.
I can be sober. I can be a good father.
Do you think Colette will be all right with him?
Yes, I'm sure she will.
What I don't understand is why, with a lovely young daughter like Colette, he allows himself to get into such a state.
I told you about the accident.
Oh, yes, I know. It must have been awful for him, but even so, I simply can't imagine any circumstances which would stop me looking after my child if we had one.
We're in here.
Do I look all right?
You look fine.
I put your razor back on the shelf. Is that plum brandy?
My sister made it. She lives in Alsace.
I like plum brandy.
Louise has just made you some coffee.
I'll pour you a cup. Black?
Yes, of course.
There we are.
Thank you.
Look, will you give this to Colette?
What is it?
A gold thimble.
Oh, she loves things like this.
Oh, you can't see her empty-handed on Christmas Day.
You've been so kind to me. I don't know what to say.
Oh, no, you don't have to say anything. Just finish your coffee and go and see her.
Who is it?
Happy Christmas, Lorraine. It's me, Paul.
Just a minute.
I've come to see Colette.
You know where she is? Papa!
Colette?
Papa!
Oh, Colette. Happy Christmas.
Come in, Lucas. Take a seat.
Thanks, Chief.
You look frozen.
Oh, it's snowing.
Yeah. Look, brandy, warm you up.
Oh, thank you. I dug out the report on Laurier's disappearance.
And?
Well, it's all very odd. He just seems to have vanished off the face of the earth. He left his house to go to work as normal one morning, and that was the last anyone ever saw of him.
Anything else in the report?
Well, yes, there is. Apparently, Monsieur Laurier wasn't the respectable businessman his neighbours in the Rue Mazarine thought he was. His shop had a thriving sideline in selling obscene photographs and prints, though nothing was ever proved. But that may have been because the investigation was rather perfunctory. There were well-known public figures amongst his customers.
And Madame Martin?
She was questioned after his disappearance, but she claimed to be as mystified as everyone else. However, her old landlord from before she was married recognized Laurier from a photograph and said he used to stay the night there with her sometimes. But apart from that, nothing.
Good. Well, when you've finished your brandy and thawed out, I want you to find out if any taxi driver picked up Madame Martin from around here at about 9 o'clock this morning. Any other day I'd probably be asking the impossible, but apart from a few family and church visits, they won't have been very busy today.
Sorry, mate, I'm off duty.
Police.
You're Maigret's boy, aren't you? I've seen your picture in the paper with the inspector.
Were you working this morning?
I was here, if that's what you mean. What's this all about, then? The inspector doing one of his famous cases, is he?
Did you pick up a woman in or near the Boulevard Richard Lenoir at around 9 this morning?
Or the one with nice legs?
If you say so. The inspector needs you to identify her.
Oh, give it a rest, mate. It's Christmas. I'm just about to go home.
It's important.
You try telling that to the wife. She isn't happy me working Christmas as it is. Oh, hop in. I can see I won't get any peace till I get this sorted out.
Where did you take this woman this morning?
She got me to stop outside a travel goods shop where she brought a cardboard suitcase. Then we went to the Gare du Nord. She went in and came back 15 minutes later without it. Since I was still on the rank, she got me to drive her back to where I picked her up. She was most insistent I didn't drive down the Boulevard Richard Lenoir. I dropped her in the Rue Voltaire.
You want the 3rd floor, Madame Martin.
What do I say?
Anything you like. Just get a good look so you can confirm that she's the woman you picked up this morning.
I recognise those legs anywhere. Then I can go home.
Yes, you can go home then.
All right then. Hello.
Who are you? And what do you want?
I'm the director of the Folie Bergère.
Oh, don't be so stupid. I'm not in the mood for jokes.
Miss Danguet sent me.
Can I help?
No, you can't.
I think you've got her on the wrong night.
That's show business for you.
This is Inspector Maigret.
Well, definitely her.
You're quite sure?
I wouldn't forget a pair of legs like that on Christmas Day. Will there be a reward?
I doubt it.
But I must have missed at least 2 fares.
Just get home to that wife of yours you were so keen to get back to.
So there's no reward?
Scram.
Happy Christmas to you too.
Your husband will be here in an hour.
So you keep saying.
Perhaps you'll be more talkative in his presence.
I've told you everything I know.
So, despite the taxi driver recognizing you, you're still denying that you went to the Gare du Nord this morning.
Look, do we have to keep on going over all this?
Until you tell me the truth. You can't seriously expect me to believe that it took you 2 hours to buy 3 tins of sardines you didn't need, a bit of ham and some potatoes?
Oh, I'm very careful about what I buy. God knows I have to be with what Jean earns and that girl to keep.
How do you explain the cab driver recognizing you?
Oh, there are thousands of women in Paris who look like me. Look, I've told you everything I know. Your men have searched the flat and found nothing, so if you don't mind, I'd like you to go now so I can get ready for my husband.
Sit down, woman. You're not going anywhere till I get a few straight answers. Now, tell me what was in the suitcase.
What suitcase? I don't know what you're
the
talking
one
about.
You bought this morning. Let me tell you what I think happened.
Don't have any choice, do I?
Let's start with your so-called insurance man. Strange, isn't it, that no one else in the building received any visits from him. Lucas checked.
Well, they don't like me.
Your visitor, we'll call him the insurance man, came to collect something that you had. You told him that whatever it was hidden under the floorboards in Colette's room, and you explained that you couldn't get it until she was better. A few days ago he returned. You told him that Colette was still laid up. He became angry, probably accused you of lying. Colette heard you argue and became upset. Fearing discovery, your insurance man agreed to leave, but he no longer trusted you. And discovering that your husband would be away over Christmas, he hit on the idea of visiting Colette's room dressed as Father Christmas.
You should be in films.
Of course, whatever it was you had never was under Colette's floorboards. And this morning, hearing about Father Christmas's nocturnal visit, you panicked. Fearing another, perhaps violent visit from your insurance man, you took whatever it was out with you. You bought a cheap suitcase, transferred your booty into it, and then deposited the suitcase in left luggage at the Gare du Nord.
You think you're so clever, don't you?
I'm right, aren't I?
Well, I'd have a left luggage receipt, wouldn't I?
Not if you posted it to yourself.
Oh, you hate me, don't you?
I understand you.
You've no idea.
I tell you what shocks me most. Not what you may or may not have done, but your coolness. For the last couple of hours we've been together in this room, and you've not flinched at a single question. Even the imminent arrival of your husband doesn't appear to bother you.
Oh, I've done nothing wrong.
You were Monsieur Laurier's mistress, weren't you?
I worked for him.
But he used to visit you at night before you were married, didn't he?
Well, what of it? You won't tell Jean, will you?
He's your husband.
It was before we married. Look, Jean doesn't know. He's a good man. I don't want to hurt him.
What is it, Lucas?
He's outside. Torrance spotted him watching this flat.
Who's outside?
Father Christmas. Surely you knew he'd be back.
Do you know who he is?
Monsieur Laurier, your insurance man, isn't he? He thinks you have something which belongs to him.
It's not his property.
Perhaps we should leave so the two of you can sort it out. Come on, Lucas.
I think he may well be armed, Chief.
Well, I'm sure Madame Martin is perfectly capable of dealing with him on her own.
Don't go.
But a few moments ago, you couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Please. He'll kill me. He's already killed one man.
So, you're going to tell us what this is all about?
You'll stay?
Is there money in the suitcase?
Just under £1 million francs. Well, it's mine just as much as his.
Where did it come from?
One of the customers, Monsieur Boissy.
What happened to him?
Monsieur Laurier killed him.
Why?
Well, for the money, of course. He's ruthless. Look, you mustn't let him in.
Lucas, be a good man. Keep an eye on the stairs.
Yes, Chief.
Julien Boissy fancied me, and I kidded him that if he had enough money, I'd go away with him.
Weren't you married to Jean?
Well, only for a couple of months. Look, I hate being poor. I thought it would be different after I married Jean, but it wasn't.
So the idea was to kill Boissy and go off with Laurier?
Julien Boissy was a dirty old man. Like all men, like yourself most likely. One afternoon he turned up at the shop with the money. I was at lunch. When I got back, Laurier was cramming Boissy's body into a trunk. He had strangled him. I didn't know Laurier was going to kill him. I thought... Well, I don't know what I thought, but I didn't think he would kill him.
Did you blackmail Laurier?
No! He would have killed me.
So why did he disappear?
Well, I persuaded him that he had been seen disposing of the body. So he gave me the money to look after and fled to Belgium. He expected to return when the fuss had died down and take me off to South America with him.
And that was 5 years ago.
I wrote to him post-restant. Told him I was being watched and followed by the police, and that Monsieur Boissy's body had been found. Of course, it was a lie. You police aren't that clever.
So why did he come back 2 months ago?
Oh, he was broke. The idiot could have come back any time he wanted to. No one was interested, not even his wife.
So you kept the money safe all these years without your husband or anyone else suspecting that you were rich?
Oh, it was a comfort knowing the money was there. Will you get me out of here?
What about your husband?
Oh, to hell with that idiot.
And Colette?
Oh, she's not my child. He can look after her.
Lucas?
Yes, Chief?
Take her down to the station.
Oh.
Then we can charge her and Laurier with the murder of Julien Boissy.
You've arrested Laurier?
On his way here.
Oh, you tricked me. You made me think
Take her away, Lucas.
Oh, you don't touch me.
Come on.
What's going on? Colette, is she all right?
Oh, what are you looking at, you interfering old bitch? It's all your fault. If it hadn't been for your stupid infatuation with the inspector, no one would be any the wiser.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, you bitch.
No. Oh, you.
you're still up.
What's happened to her?
Who?
Colette. I saw Lucas lead that woman away.
Oh, she's asleep. Paul is still with her.
What's going to happen to her?
I don't know. Can I come in?
Well, she could come and stay with us. I look after her. Until something more permanent is sorted out.
Well, we'll see about it in the morning.
But for the time being.
Well, it might be the most practical solution, what with Jean working and Paul the way he is. If they agree, I'll arrange for Colette to be brought over in the morning.
Oh, Maigret.
Yeah.
This is the best Christmas I've ever had.
Can I come in now? It's freezing out here.
Of course, my dear.
Yeah.
Of course.
Douce nuit, blanche nuit, c'est Noël aujourd'hui.
In Maigret's Christmas by Georges Simenon, adapted for radio by John Petherbridge, Inspector Maigret was played by Barry Foster, Madame Maigret by Pauline Yates, and Lorraine Martin by Jane Slavin. Sergeant Lucas was Joseph Bennett, Mademoiselle Doncoeur, Maria Charles, Colette, Kira Jansen, Paul Martin, Christopher Wright, and the cabbie Malcolm Ward. Directed by Andy Jordan.
The Grumbleweeds are an award-winning British comedy band, performing music and comedy. They were mostly popular on radio and television in the 1980s, including the Grumbleweeds radio show which ran from 1979 to 1988 on Radio 2.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I think you're wasting your time knocking there, pal. It's a flaming telephone box.
Before. Did you hear the one? I did. I'll tell you another. Okay. Did you hear the one about the Irish Father Christmas? He spent 2 weeks climbing down a chimney and found himself at the bottom of a well.
And welcome once again to the Hammersmith Palais for the Formation Dancing Finals. You join us just in time to see the East West Midlands Jacques Cousteau Formation Dancers.
Around the world I've searched for you. I was only at me movers.
And the very latest theatrical success opened in Portsmouth last night. It's a cross between Hello Dolly and Sailor Beware, and it's called...
Hello, Sailor.
You're beginning to get right up my nose, you are, pal.
And back here at the Formation Dancing Finals, things are really hotting up, as onto the floor come the North-South Midlands Devonshire Milkmaids Formation Dancers.
Boom, 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 skillabum, yambo.
Boom, 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 skillabum, yambo.
Illibum, skillabum, billibum, yambo.
Illibum, skillibum, billibum, yambo.
Billibum, 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 yambo.
Billibum, 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 yambo.
Bim, billibum, bim, bim, yambo.
Bim, bim, billibum, yambo.
Bim, skillibum, bim, gillibum, bum, skim, bum, billibum, bum, bum, yamonamodum, bum, skibab, yambo.
Yambo.
And back here at the Formation Dancing Finals, the excitement is really mounting, as onto the floor come the West-South Midlands Short-Sighted Blacksmiths Formation Dancers. He were a great baker, were Howard Jack. I remember one Christmas, he were up all hours baking for Christmas trade. We never saw him for 3 days. He lived in that bakery. He must have used tons of currants and raisins. I've never seen as much confectionery in all my life. But as he used to say, Christmas only comes but once a year and you've got to cash in on it. That was the year we went bankrupt. Silly devil had made up cross buns.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, I am silly. It's my own house.
Get along. How's about that then, guys and gals? Now look who's here, the one and only Mr. Wilf Gasmask Grimshaw.
Hello, Huey.
Now then, Wilf, old son. Now then, what I'd really like to know is what you're doing here on this fabulous, fabulous Christmas show.
And the compare.
What fabulous news. That is absolutely knockout, as it happens. That you are the actual compere of the one and only Grumbleweeds Christmas show.
Yeah.
Tell me, old son, who are the actual guests on the show?
Well, we've got Roy Castle.
That is fantastic, as it happens.
But there is a snag.
And what's that, Wilf, old son?
He hasn't brought Emu.
No, I'm sorry, Wilf. I think you're mistaking him for Rod Hull.
Who?
No, Rod Hull. He's the actual man who has Emu.
Well, why doesn't he give him back to Roy?
No, never mind, Wilf. Forget it, Olson. Tell us, Wilf, who else is on the show?
Les Dawson.
Wonderful.
But unfortunately, he won't be doing any record breaking.
Just a minute, Wilf. Hold it just a minute there, Olson. Now then, stop the show. I think you're mixing him up with Roy Castle.
Who?
Roy Castle.
I've heard that name before.
Yes, Wilf Olson. That's the fella you mistook for Rod Hull.
But who did I mistake for Les Dawson?
Roy Castle.
I've heard that name before. Isn't he the fella I mistook for Rod Hull?
As it happens, Wilf, yes.
Well, why is he going round calling himself Les Dawson?
Why is who going round calling himself Les Dawson?
I don't know, I'm lost.
Look, silly Lord, the main thing is, Will Folsom. Knock out. Listen, the main thing is, Les Dawson is Les Dawson, and Roy Castle is Roy Castle.
Well, who's email then?
Look, it doesn't matter, as it happens, Luke, because would you believe your actual emu isn't on the show?
Are you sure?
Absolutely, Wilf.
Well, who's that behind you?
Hello, everybody.
Dearly Lord, it is the one and only Rod Hull Emu. May I say what a surprise it is to see you, Rod.
Thank you very much. Yes, we just came out here to wish you all a Merry Christmas, didn't we?
Well, that is a fabulous knockout as it happens. Come on, Will Folsom, say hello to Emu.
I don't want to.
You don't want to? Goodness gracious, he couldn't say... Look, why don't you want to, Wilf?
I don't like him.
You shouldn't have said that, Wilf.
Well, I don't like him. He's ugly.
He's very nice once you get to know him, Wilf.
Well, I think he's ugly and he smells and I don't like him and I'd rather have a turkey.
You all right, Wilf?
Will Folsom! What's the matter, Folsom?
He swallowed me gas mask.
Do not worry about it, Melson. Don't worry about it. You can always get another one.
Yeah. But my head's still inside it.
This way to Santa's fairy grotto. Come on, kiddies. Come and see Santa and his grotty. Tell Santa what you want for Christmas. This way to Santa's fairy grotty.
All right, who's next?
Hello, Santa Claus.
Right, get on me knee, you spotty-faced little wretch. And you can take your eyes off Fairy Goodbody. She's mine, pal. Get it? Is that your auntie who's brought you?
Yeah.
Ugly old bag. I've got a better-looking dog. Right, now, what are you hoping for?
Well, I'd like a Wonder Woman.
So would I, pal. Next.
Hello, Santa Claus.
Ooh, blimey. Another little horror. Look at it. Frankenstein in short trousers. All right, big conk. Get on my knee.
Can I pull your whiskers?
You lay one finger on me, pal, and I'll rip your windpipe out. I'm warning you, don't mess about with me, or you'll need 2 ambulances. One for you, and one for your innards. Now, what do you want for Christmas?
You're standing on me foot.
I know, I can't reach your head. What do you want for Christmas?
I'll leave it up to you.
Right, you're having a chessboard.
I wanted a jigsaw.
You're having a chessboard.
I wanted a jigsaw.
There you are. You've got a flaming jigsaw. Next.
Hello, Mr. Santa Claus. Is there a chance of one of them videotape recorders?
It's as good as yours.
Thank you very much, Santa.
My pleasure. Right, off you go, son. And when you get home, tell your mum I'll be late home for my tea. sorry about that, Vicar. I didn't think that Christmas pudding agreed with me.
1, 2, 3, 4. Good King Wenceslas,
Just a minute, Wilfulson. Jimmy here, the gaffer, would like to know if you've sorted out the gas for this one and only fabulous Christmas show yet.
Yeah, I've been thinking very hard about what you said. And as far as I can work it out, and I could be wrong, Roy Castle is Roy Castle.
Fabulous.
I thought you'd be pleased.
But now tell us, Wilf, who is our first guest?
You're not going to believe this, but I've forgotten.
I don't believe it, son. Now look, I'll give you a clue. His name is Roy Castle.
Can you give me a better clue?
Lord, goodness gracious, Wilfulson, it's Roy Castle.
Oh, that Roy Castle. Oh, I like him, and I've worked ever so hard writing a special introduction for him with words and everything.
Well, that's exactly what we're all waiting to hear, old son. So off you go, and give him a big, fantastic build-up.
Yeah, right, I will. Here he is, Roy Castle.
Thank you, Wilf. He's a lovely fella, isn't he? Just wished me a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Gas Mask, you know. Anyway, Happy Christmas to you. And I've had a smashing time so far.
All right then, Robert. It's us, no.
No, I don't think it's going to last much longer.
Hurry up, Sheridan, it's Norman.
I'm coming, Hilary.
Great to see you, Norm, and a very happy Christmas.
Yeah, a very happy Christmas,
I've told him, son, I've just told him.
Yeah, well, the same to you. I see you brought Sheridan's granny with you.
Yeah, well, we had to, really, Norm. She got fed up sitting on top of the Christmas tree.
There we are, the Christmas tree.
All right, Marigold. We've had that all Christmas, Norm. I think there was too much brandy in the pudding.
Tell him why we're here.
Oh, you'll like this, Norm.
Do you want to bet?
We thought, seeing as how it's the season of goodwill to all men, you'd let us sing a carol.
Okay. Have you a suitable, seasonable offering in mind?
I've got a belter. June is busting out all over.
Hold it, Shed, hold it, son. His clock's a bit slow now.
Look, do you know the 12 days of Christmas?
Who doesn't know?
Good. No messing about.
As if we would.
Right. After 3 then. 1, 2, 3.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
Hang on.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. I was away there, wasn't I?
What's the matter?
Well, it's Stuart. I mean, who the heck sends somebody a partridge in a pear tree at Christmas?
Who the heck sends one at any time?
My brother-in-law sent me a frozen chicken last July.
But it wouldn't be in a flippin' tree, would it?
Look, it's a traditional song, okay?
I always get a pair of socks.
I'm not interested. You want to sing a song? This is it. People have sung it for years and never questioned it. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
How the heck do you wrap 'em up?
Wrap what up?
A partridge in a pear tree. If you're giving someone it for Christmas, how did he wrap it up?
You put the partridge in a box with holes in.
Yes, but how can you wrap up a tree?
You send them an acorn and tell them to grow their own. Right, now let's carry on.
What's next, no?
2 turtle doves.
Hey, we can put them in the same box as the partridge.
But you'd have to make some more holes.
They might breed. I wonder if they'd call it a turtridge.
Look, do you want to sing this song or not?
Of course we do, no.
Right. It's a partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, and don't go away because we have 3 French hens coming up in a minute.
They'll have to go in a separate box. Why? Foreigners.
Look, it's a traditional song about a man giving gifts to his true love.
Yeah, but the way things are going, he's not going to see her for feathers. Can't he send us something else?
I like Easter eggs.
She's right, Norm. She loves her Easter eggs, does Marigold.
All right, then we'll make it an Easter egg in a fancy box.
Will it have holes in?
Will what have holes in?
The box.
No, but somebody's head might have if he doesn't shut up.
I wonder who it means.
Right, after 3 now. 1, 2, 3.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love said to me, an Easter egg in a fancy box.
Hold it! Oh, what's the matter now?
Well, it does seem a bit daft, Norm, sending an Easter egg at Christmas. I mean, you only give people Easter eggs at Easter.
Well, why don't we make it Easter then?
Oh, okay, anything, so long as we sing the song.
Great.
Right, after 3. 1, 2, 3.
On the first day of Easter, my true love sent to me an Easter egg in a fancy box.
Without holes in.
Okay, now what can we send on the 2nd day of Easter?
They sent me a rate demand.
2 hot cross buns.
Hey, I could just eat a hot cross bun.
Okay, 2 hot cross buns it is. 1, 2, 3.
On the 2nd day of Easter, my true love sent to me 2 hot cross buns and an Easter egg in a fancy box.
Without holes in.
Will you shut up?
It's no good, Norm. Easter's not working. Let's try August Bank Holiday Monday.
Okay, right. Anything, so long as we get it sung. Because it's a beautiful song.
No.
What is it?
Did it ever get in the charts?
No. Why?
I just wondered.
Okay, August Bank Holiday Monday it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
On August Bank Holiday Monday, my true love said to me
nothing.
Why not then, Norm?
Because on August Bank Holiday Monday, all the shops are shut.
Roy! Are you coming to the school Christmas party, Roy? Are you coming, Roy? To the school Christmas party, Roy?
No.
Why, Roy? Why aren't you coming to the school Christmas party? I say, why aren't you coming?
I've been a naughty boy.
Oh, Roy. What did you do that was naughty? What did you do, Roy, that was naughty?
Me and me mum bought Dad an electric razor for Christmas.
That's not naughty, Roy. That's nice. What did you do that was naughty, Roy?
I've been playing with it.
Oh, Roy. Didn't your dad let you play with his electric razor, Roy?
No. Neither did the cat.
Oh, Lord. What did you do to the cat, Roy? I said, what did you do to the cat?
I shaved it. I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Oh, Portiddle. I said Portiddle.
We don't call it Tiddles now. We call it Kojak.
What else did you do that was naughty, Roy?
I made the Christmas dinner for me mum and dad. They fell asleep, so I made the dinner for them.
What did you make, Roy? What did you make, Christmas dinner?
Well, first, I made tomato soup in the pressure cooker.
Hey, that sounds good, Roy. What did it taste like, Roy?
I don't know. We haven't scraped it off the ceiling yet.
What else did you do, Roy?
And then I did the turkey, but I couldn't find the stuffing.
What did you stuff the turkey with then, Roy?
Semolina
the pudding.
All right. It's all right.
And then for afters, I did Christmas pudding and custard.
Oh, I love custard, right? I love lots and lots and lots of custard.
Well, I made lots and lots and lots of custard. In fact, I made so much, I couldn't find a dish big enough.
What did you put it in then, right? I said, what did you put the custard in?
Me mum's new handbag.
Absolutely fabulous. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's great, is Les Dawson.
Hello, Miss Piggy. Oh, Kermie, sweetness of my life. Can you help me, my precious? Depends on what you want. It's the fairy lights on the Christmas tree, Kermit. They won't turn on. No problem, Miss Piggy. It must be a bulb loose. All I have to do is go along the wire, tightening up the bulbs like so. That's 1, and that's 2, that's 3, and that's... Stupid, dumb, electrified frog.
The little green devil. He made the fairy on top of the tree jump out of her tights.
Hello, kiddies. Yes, once again it's me. Once again, your old friend, Uncle Rubbish. Bringing you once again the programme you've asked for once again. Yes, it's time for toy time, and as we say once again, it's toy time. Now, as you know, toy time is for tiny tots. So let's sing our little Tiny Tots Toy Time song, so that everybody will know it's Tiny Tots Toy Time.
It's time for Tiny Tots time once again. Oh, it's time for Tiny Tots Toy Time once again. Yes, it's time. It's time for Tiny Tots time. It's toy time for Tiny Tots. Oh, the Tiny Tots Toy Time is once again for Tiny Tots, so baby.
There, wasn't that exciting? Shall we do it again? No, perhaps not. Now, kiddies, let's open once again the Tiny Tots Toy Time toy cupboard and see who's inside this week. Hello. Is there anybody inside the Tiny Tots Toy Time toy cupboard?
You're getting right up my toy time now, you are, pal.
Oh, look. It's Uncle Nasty. He's dressed as a tin soldier in the Tiny Tots Toy Time cupboard. Let's tread on him. Shall we do it again? No, perhaps not. Now, who else is in the Tiny Tots Toy Time toy cupboard? Aha! It's Cuddles, the teddy bear. Everybody loves Cuddles, 'cause he's so lovable and gentle and kind-hearted. Hello, Cuddles. Oh, dear. Cuddles has slammed the door on my fingers. Never mind, they're only broken. Good old Cuddle. He does like his little joke. Shall we do it again? No, perhaps not. Now, kiddies, let's open the other Tiny Tots Toy Time toy cupboard and see if Fluffy Doll is at home. Hello? It looks as though Fluffy Doll has a little visitor. Hello, little visitor. What are you and Fluffy Doll doing in the Tiny Tots Toy Time toy cupboard?
Knickers, 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 knickers. Oh. Get him up! No, you can't. Whatever does to put new life into you, it'll give you something rather than the old house your father. Ooh, if you've got nothing better, a big bum, big bum. Give it all you can. I don't care. Besides, but I'll break your leg. I'll get there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good King Wenceslas.
Goodness gracious, are you still at it, Wilford, son?
Yeah. Do you think it'll catch on?
Now, listen to Jimmy. Just to remind you, these next guests are from the show with 10 legs.
Pardon?
Well, that's the name of the show, Wilfred. It is called the show with 10 legs because there are 5 people in it, and if there's 10 legs, Wilf, there must be 5 people.
Not necessarily. It could be 2 sheepdogs and a traffic warden.
Never mind, old son. Oh, dearie me. Never mind, old son. Jimmy here will introduce them. Guys and gals, how's about a fabulous, fabulous welcome to Eddie Braben and the show with 10 legs?
Try this house. If I don't find any warmth and compassion here, I'll lose faith in humanity.
Christmas is coming, the geese are getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny...
I might as well go home because I'm wasting my time here. I know. I'll pretend to be an old man and I might get some sympathy.
Yes?
Carol singer.
Shouldn't live here.
I'm a carol singer.
20p.
I've only got 10.
That'll do. Thanks very much.
Precious, who was that at the door?
Some old cocky singing carols. He gave me 10p.
He gave you 10p? You're supposed to pay him, Tommy.
Ah, the poor man. We can't leave him outside. Haven't you got anywhere to go for Christmas?
Haven't got anybody. But little does she know that I'm an eccentric millionaire who's fed up with the jet-set phonies and just wants to spend Christmas with a normal, happy, working-class family. I'm all alone.
You come on. Haven't you got anywhere to go for Christmas?
Haven't got anybody. But little does she know that I'm an eccentric millionaire who's fed up with the jet-set phonies and just wants to spend Christmas with a normal, happy, working-class family. I'm all alone.
You come on in and have a warm by the fire. Ah, that's better than being out in the cold. These are my 3 lads, Precious and Bunchy. Bunchy, get the old man a drink.
I don't want to be a nuisance.
Then get lost.
Ah, he looks upstart. What have we got left to give him?
That lettuce looks nice and crisp and green.
That's the boiled ham.
Have one of my homemade mince pies.
Yeah. If you've got to go, that's as good a way as any.
Bunchy, fetch the cheese.
Right. Here, mouse. Here, mouse.
Bunchy, show a bit of understanding.
It's nice to see a family all spending Christmas together.
I'm happy with Precious and Bunchy, my three lads. Do you want to see what they bought me for Christmas? Now, isn't that beautiful?
It's a very nice floor cloth.
And they bought me these beads. Oh, the beads is broke.
I thought the custard was lumpy.
Bunchy, son, give the fire a poke.
It's electric.
I know. When they were little, we had some lovely Christmases in this house. There was Precious, Bunchy, and our Bianca. 4 lovely children. Bunchy, do you remember our Bianca in the Christmas concert at school? She was on the harp.
6 pints of it we had to carry her home.
Let's have some Christmas festivities. Precious, crackers.
I don't care. I'm happy.
Pull a cracker with the man.
Right.
It's all very jolly.
Paul! Hey, there's a joke in this. It says, what is a kangaroo?
What is a kangaroo?
A Scotsman dropped in the bathroom.
It's the nicest Christmas I've had in years. I must go now.
Precious, Bunchy, we can't let a poor old man go out in the cold at Christmas.
Ah, you see, I'm not a poor old man. I'm an eccentric millionaire.
He's an electric millionaire.
For the first time ever, I found warmth, compassion, and understanding. I think you're the kindest people I've ever met. And I'm going to show my gratitude by giving you half of my fortune.
Great!
No.
No? But only once...
You're very kind. But if you gave us all that money, we wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't be the happy family we are now. I've always said, money doesn't buy wealth. Thanks all the same.
I understand. And thank you for restoring my faith in humanity. Just one thing before I go.
Yes?
Could I have my 10p back?
Thank you. The show is 10 legs knockout.
And here are some late non-league football results. Bowness 1, Bowlegs 2. Now you can pack in laughing, because this is serious. Felixstowe 6, Pigeon Toes 10. I said pack it in. Right? Now, Rugby Union. London Barbarians 12, Manchester Hooligans 150.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Christmas wouldn't be complete without the traditional speech to the nation from the head of the airwaves. Over now to our live outside broadcast microphones and our commentator on the spot.
And welcome to an incredible scene outside Broadcasting House. I've never seen so many people. Some, I believe, have been sleeping on the pavements for weeks, just for a chance to touch or even catch a glimpse of our great... Yes, I can see movement behind the window, and yes, here he comes onto the balcony of Broadcasting House. And just listen to that reception.
Greetings, my people. Yes, it's me, your hero, and mine, Terry Wogan. Speaking to you now, on this Christmas, from the Trethowan Home for the Bewildered. You ask, what is our leader doing this Christmas? I'll probably go down to the blank. Have a few blanks, and get blankety blank. And who the Sam Hill are the Grumbleweeds, anyway?
They get right up my nose, pal.
Blankety blank's what you want. More of it. Every day, every hour on the hour. More blankety blanks.
He got right up my nose, he did, pal.
You know, I thought Nora Batty looked particularly repulsive this morning.
She's not at her feminine best when she's scrubbing the front step.
Get away, what's the matter with you? She's beautiful as Nora Batty, a vision of loveliness.
She looked revolting. It made me feel proud to be a man.
I watch her scrubbing that step every Saturday morning. It's better than swap shop.
I'm not exactly a Noel Edmonds fan, but he'd get my vote any day over Nora Batty.
You're all jealous 'cause she fancies me, aren't you?
I wouldn't mind so much if she wore trousers.
What are you talking about? If you've got it, flaunt it. I hope she likes the Christmas present I've bought for her. It's an article of clothing.
Well, let's just hope it's a balaclava that she can wear back to front.
Well, come on, that mum. You can't leave us hanging in suspense. Aren't you going to tell us what you've bought her?
No point. If you're going to be watching her next Saturday morning scrubbing the step, you'll see for yourself.
I'd like to do one of my poems. Thank you. I had a smashing party in our house the other night. I invited 20 fellas, so I knew I'd do all right. And when we started playing games, I was in great demand. The once or twice with Tommy Brown, I had to slap his hand. And then there was a shy boy who I thought was rather frail. But in Postman's Knock, he took me out. And he proved a first-class male.
And we've just heard that an Irishman has invented a device for looking through brick walls. He's called it a window.
Excuse me, pal.
Oh, yes, yes.
What's the price of a cheap day return to Scarborough?
Scarborough, now then. Let's see, Scarborough, that's £4.50.
How much will it cost to go second class on a Saturday to Euston?
Second class, Euston, that's £12.85.
What's the difference in price between a single to Barnsley and a cheap day return to Sheffield?
Now then, that'll be £1.20.
How much is a single on a Sunday in a sleeper with a motorcycle to Cottage Bar?
Oh, yes, now that'll be £24.75.
What would be the exact cost of a special excursion to the Lake District, setting off on a Saturday morning from Staley Bridge? I've started, so I'll finish.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good king went
Simmer down, Wolfholstrom, simmer down, because you are going to fix it for Jimmy to listen to one of my favourite entertainers.
Oh,
You want me to sing?
No, I didn't mean that, Wilf. As it happens, now, Jimmy here, the gaffer, didn't actually mean that. Because as it happens, I am talking about our next guest star.
Because I've learnt to sing some lovely Christmas songs.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, Wilf, but as it happens...
I'm dreaming of a white gas mask.
That is knockout.
Rudolph the red-nosed gas mask.
Fabulous.
The holly and the gas mask.
That is wonderful. This may surprise you, Wilf, old son, but Jimmy here would actually rather listen to our fabulous guest.
You see, I've learnt all these new songs for me pantomime.
Dear Lord, you're actually doing a one and only pantomime.
Yeah.
Now, this is fabulous news, would you believe? Now, tell us, Wilf, what is the actual title of this pantomime?
Goldilocks and the free gas mask.
Knockout.
Who's been sleeping in my gas mask? Said Mummy Bear. Who's been eating porridge in my gas mask? Said Daddy Bear.
And who's going to get a thick ear if he doesn't shut up? Said Jimmy the gaffer.
I don't remember that line.
Well, Folsom, the ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, ought to know who the next guest is.
And so do I.
I'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, let's have a fabulous clap, clap, clap for the one and only, would you believe? Mr. Les Dawson.
I sat at the bottom of my garden, and I gazed upwards in awe at the sight of the vast celestial canopy of infinite space. I caught my breath at the parade of the glittering stars, glistening like pieces of quicksilver thrown carelessly onto black velvet. With profound wonderment I watched the soaring passage of the waxen moon, riding like a yellow chariot across the heavens towards the black abyss wherein the tethered bolts of Jupiter and Mars hang forever festooning their orbital majesty. Suddenly from out of the shimmering sky I saw a sledge, and sitting on it the merry Rubicon figure of Father Christmas, handling with great skill the reins streaming from the snorting reindeer team. Father Christmas jumped down and came running towards me. "Hello," he said. And he seemed somewhat agitated. I found my tongue, which had been in my mouth all the time. I said, "Are you really Father Christmas?" He said, "Yes. I've come from Toyland, and it's a long way from Earth. I've been sat on that sledge for over 8 light years." I said, "Welcome, oh beloved one. What can I do for you?" He said, "Can I use your toilet?" I must say that I like the festive season. You can always tell when it's Christmas. The television is full of summer adverts for pontins. It's a time for people to get together. For the last 7 years now, every Christmas Day, the wife's mother has been to our house for Christmas dinner. This year we're having a change. We're going to let her in. I don't really mind her coming at Christmas. It's just that she arrives in April. Last year saw a typical family get-together at our house. The wife's mother was the first to turn up. I saw her lurching down the garden path in a fur coat with so much mascara around her eyes she looked like a giant panda with dropsy. The wife said, "Mother's here, how would you like to speak to her?" I said, "Through a spiritualist." Just behind her, laden with luggage, was the father-in-law. I feel sorry for him. He's so thin he can get into a new shirt without taking the pins out. Mother-in-law got drunk and started singing all the songs she'd learned to the stormtrooper. The wife stood under the mistletoe waiting for someone to kiss her, and she was still there at Lent. So if you're passing, don't hesitate to call. But always remember this at Christmas, our front door's always open. We can't shut the damn thing. Merry Christmas!
Christmas is the time for the family, and so I am talking to an ordinary, everyday British family to find out just what the festive season means to them. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Despot. Tell me, just what does Christmas mean to you?
Oh, it's a time of jollity.
Jollity.
Laughter.
Laughter. Gay abandon.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's time to let your hair down.
Wash your socks.
Well, of course, we do have presents.
Yes, we love presents.
Oh, we love them. He gave me a lovely book. Illustrated it was, all in colour.
Colour. Encyclopedia of Medieval Torture.
And I gave him a set of solid silver screws.
Oh, screws, you mean for your workshop?
No, for my thumb.
My goodness, yes. Yes, well, they are rather unusual presents. No, but what about the ordinary things? You know, holly, mistletoe...
Oh, we never have holly in the house.
No, never. No. Just bunches of garlic flowers.
Well, to celebrate Christmas?
No, keep her mother out. Why, we don't hang mistletoe either.
Oh, no, it starts everybody kissing.
Everybody kissing. And her mother goes for your neck.
Yes, yes, I see.
They had mistletoe at me Aunt Morbida's, and Mother kissed everybody's neck.
Everybody's neck. After the party, they all said they felt quite drained.
Yeah, especially Cousin Mary.
Oh, yeah. Your mother does like a Bloody Mary.
Oh, hey, I've just remembered. That was the party when Mother brought the homemade Christmas crackers.
Christmas crackers, yes.
Yes.
She made them with gunpowder.
Gunpowder, that's right, yes.
Blew your uncle's paper hat off.
Oh, he had a lovely funeral, Boxing Day.
Do you mean he died from shock when his paper hat blew off?
No.
No?
When his paper hat blew off, his head was still in it.
Almost ruined the party.
Yes, we had to go out and buy some more crackers.
Well, fortunately, Uncle's harmonium wasn't damaged, so we were able to have our festive sing-song.
Our knees up.
Yes.
We sang Death Where His Eyes Sting.
Yes. Oh, and our favourite bit of On Ilkley Moor, Barta,
Yes.
Then worms will come and eat
thee up.
Would you like a glass of homemade wine?
Oh, well, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, compliments of the season.
Her mother made it. With elderberry and hemlock. Tonight, let us all join in this auspicious occasion, this wonderful time of the year, to sing the old carols. And you all know this one. That's the idea. Don't keep together. Can't all be professional. Well, you all seemed a bit shy there, but I'm sure that you'll all join in on the last one. Jingle bells.
Thank you, the one and only Mr. Les Dawson. Fabulous.
We interrupt this programme with a fog warning. It's going to be foggy. Come on, laugh. I'll give you one more chance. And if you don't laugh at this one, I'll personally rip out all your gizzards, and I mean it. It'll be a fleet of ambulances to the BBC hospital for rotten audiences. Right? Stand by. We've just heard that a Scottish football supporter has crossed a rattle with a set of bagpipes. And he got a rat bag.
Do you know? He was getting right up my gas mask, he was, pal.
And now, at this special time of the year, a major breakthrough in radio communication as we link up live with our satellite to bring you Christmas greetings from all over the world. Are you there, Singapore?
Hello?
Hello, Singapore. Are you receiving me?
Hello?
Hello, Singapore. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Hello?
What is your message, Singapore?
Hello? I can hear you now. I've been ages getting through. What's happened to the taxi I ordered for my sister?
I'm sorry, we seem to have got a cross line here.
I rang you 2 hours ago. She's at 23B Marketplace, Huddersfield.
I'm sorry about this, listeners. We seem to have cut in on someone who's expecting a taxi cab.
No, she's expecting a baby. Anytime now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm trying to contact Singapore.
But she can't wait for one to come from there.
I'm sorry, sir. Let's try line number 2, where we hope to speak to President Maziwazi Bango, and let's hope he speaks English. Are you there, President Maziwazi Bango?
Thank you, Frank, and Christmas greetings. Christmas greetings to Great Britain. Here we are getting ready for our floodlit fertility dance. The referee's the witch doctor from Whitehaven. He's a big lad. You've probably seen him on Jesus on Just. It's a knockout. Yeah, when he sent off Stuart Hall for not laughing enough in the mini-marathon.
Yeah. Well, that's quite obvious that President Maziwazi Bango doesn't speak English.
Are you still there, Great Britain? I've got a few words there from my Prime Minister. I would like to say a few words.
Certainly. Go ahead, Prime Minister.
Hello? Is that taxi on its way yet?
Will you get off the line, sir? We haven't got much time.
Well, neither does my sister.
Yeah, great. Now listen, let's try and make contact with Italy and go over to a convent in the Tuscan Hills. Come in, Mother Superior. Why can't I hear you, Mother Superior?
She's having a baby.
What? What was that?
She's 10 months pregnant. Can you send that taxi quick?
Oh, no, it's you again, is it? Look, I'm trying to go around the world.
Well, if you pass in the hospital, can you drop us off?
Come in, Australia. Hello, is that you, Sydney?
No, it's me, Brian.
Sydney, Australia.
No, it's Brian Illingworth.
Oh, no. Come in, India. Hello, India, can you help me?
I don't think she'll go on an elephant.
Anybody, come in, anybody. Hello, anybody.
This is Peter Wheeler with the marks of the Manchester jury. Lenny Bennett, 12.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
All right, then. 10.
I'm going out of my mind. This is stupid. Isn't there anybody out there who can send us a Christmas message? Come in, anybody.
Hello? Can you cancel that taxi, please?
You have been listening to the Grumbleweeds Christmas Party, starring the Grumbleweeds. Albert, Carl, Graham, Morris and Robin, and their special guest stars, Roy Castle, Les Dawson, Rod Hull and Emu, and Terry Wogan. Also appearing in the show were Eddie Braben, David Casey, Jacqueline Clark, Colin Edwin, Daphne Oxenford, Alison Steadman, Peter Wheeler, and Eli Woods. And if you think I've finished, you're wrong, because you're never going to believe this, but the show was written by James Casey, Mike Craig, Laurie Kinsley, and Ron McDonald. Eddie Braben wrote The Turpin Family, and incidental piano was provided by Brian Fitzgerald. And if I've got enough breath left, the whole show was produced in Manchester by Mike Craig and James Casey. And after all that, Happy New Year, folks.
Christmas Day at Kirkby Cottage by Anthony Trollope. This charming short story, first published in 1870, told the story of a husband and wife who were worried about their daughter Bella, a self-willed girl expected to find the right partner, but perhaps lacking in those qualities of pliability and sweetness expected from a late Victorian middle-class woman. She might fall in love, but might prove too much of a handful. Into their household comes a Darcy-esque figure, Mr. Archer, who, although perfectly polite and well-mannered towards his hosts, seems totally devoid of humanity. He even repudiates the idea of Christmas dinner, roast beef, applesauce and all the trimmings, which really upsets Bella.
Invite him here? For Christmas? I was so looking forward to a quiet and peaceful Christmas this year.
How would Morris Archer stop Christmas from being quiet and peaceful?
Oh, you know perfectly well what I mean, John. He's such an opinionated young man, for one thing.
Oh, my dear Alice, all young men are opinionated, especially when they've just left university.
Nevertheless, people say he is very self-willed. Surely it is dangerous for a young man to have no father or mother to guide and advise him.
Indeed it is, Alice. That is precisely my point. His father was my dearest friend, and so I feel a duty to the lad. After all, I'm his godfather. Don't you think if Morris came to stay with us for Christmas, that perhaps we could help to guide and advise him?
I doubt he would listen to us. And then, of course, there's the problem of Isabel.
Isabel? Oh, but how could our dear little Bella be a problem?
It seems to have escaped your notice, John, but our dear little Bella is now 20 years of age and a very beautiful young lady.
I tend to agree. Mercifully, she takes after you.
Oh, and if a young man were to be brought into the house, well, he might fall in love.
Oh, so that is what's worrying you.
People might think that he'd been invited here on purpose. And Bella isn't ready to fall in love.
Alice, my dear wife, perhaps you mean that you aren't ready for her to fall in love.
No, John, I don't believe I am.
No more am I. No more am I.
But you have a man staying with us, in the house, for Christmas. Who would be their chaperone?
Alice, my dear, one or other of us is always here. And of course there's Mabel as well.
But Mabel's only a little girl.
What is the very worst that can happen, Alice? Say that he falls in love with Bella and she doesn't feel the same for him. He must run his chance like other young men. He goes away dejected and she is left with a pleasant memory. Someone fell in love with her.
But what if Bella falls in love with him?
You know our daughter. Bella would never give her heart to any man before it had been asked.
Bella? Yes, Mabel? Can I ask you something? Of course you can. Don't you like Morris? Why do you ask me that? You're not very jolly with him.
It wouldn't be seemly for me to be jolly with Mr. Archer, a guest in our house and the son of a dear friend of Father's.
But he's fun as well. And he's been here for 2 days now, and we have such larks. But you never join in.
If I were your age, Mabel, then of course I could join in with larks and frolics. But I am 20 now and must behave sedately when in company.
I wish you'd be a bit friendlier to him.
Well, I certainly don't wish to seem unfriendly. Mr. Archer.
Miss Loud.
Oh, please don't get up. I didn't mean to disturb you.
Not at all. I'm only reading till it's time for tea. This is such a peaceful room, with all your father's books.
I'm just fetching the string and some ribbons. Mabel and I are going over to the church after tea to put up the holly and the ivy for tomorrow's service. It's a family tradition of ours on Christmas Eve. My sister wondered if you might care to join us. Tell Morris I want him to come. She said he'll do anything I ask him.
Well, that's quite outrageous, and of course it's perfectly true. I'm devoted to dear little Mabel, and indeed to her elder sister.
Oh. But I told Mabel that I didn't think you cared for such things, as our quaint little village customs, and holly and ivy, and roast beef, and so forth.
Well, to be absolutely candid, I do think it can be rather a bore.
What can?
Christmas. And everything.
Christmas? A bore, Mr. Archer? The season of our Saviour's birth? A bore?
I'm sure you know what I mean, Miss Lamb.
I don't believe I do, Mr. Archer. I'm very sorry indeed that you should think such a thing, and sorrier still to hear you say it.
No. All I meant was, a great deal of beef is roasted. After all, you did mention the beef, Miss Loud. And a great deal of Christmas pudding is boiled, and people try to be jolly by eating too much of everything. And that's why Christmas can be a bore.
No, Mr. Archer, no. Christmas, to me, is a time of... well, a very special time indeed. Little children singing carols, a season of goodwill and peace on earth, and... But to hear you speak so, of plum pudding and roast beef, as if that is all that Christmas means, and to call it a bore in a vicarage library... But of course we all have our different opinions and interests, so pray continue reading your novel, and I shan't disturb you any more with talk of Christmas, as it bores you so.
Please, Miss Loud, I truly meant no offence.
None taken, Mr. Archer, I assure you. Perhaps you will at least care to join us for afternoon tea? Or do you find that a bore also?
I would be delighted to join you, Miss Loud.
Well, is Morris coming to the church with us to do the holly and the ivy?
I really can't say what Mr. Archer will choose to do, Mabel. Help me put the tea things out, will you?
Didn't you ask him, Bella?
Yes.
Well, what did he say?
I don't wish to repeat it.
Why ever not? He wasn't rude to you, was he? I'm sure he didn't mean to be, even if he was. He's ever so nice, but sometimes he makes little jokes, and you always think he's being serious. But there's always that little twinkle in his eye.
Hush now, Mabel. He'll be here directly.
What about Mama and Papa? Aren't they having tea with us?
They've gone to see Miss Dimbleby in the village. They've taken her the cake we made. I do feel sorry for her, all alone at this time of year.
Mabel?
Oh.
Miss Loud, pray, tell me, who is all alone at this time of year? Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing you.
Miss Dimbleby.
She's very poor and old, and lives in a tumble-down cottage, and has no relations.
Then I must send flowers to Miss Dimbleby.
Why?
Because I, too, have no relations.
Oh.
And I, too, would be all alone at this time of year if your family hadn't taken pity on me. Then I'd be out there in the worst of the blizzard, a lonely, pathetic figure against the barren white landscape.
Yes, very pathetic, I'm sure.
Thank you, Miss Loud, for your sympathy. A little milk, thank you. No sugar.
Don't be silly, Morris. If you weren't here, you'd be snug and toasty warm in your own house.
What? My cold and gloomy old place out on the bleak moor?
Huntlewick Hall is a beautiful big manor house.
Even a big house can be cold and gloomy when you've no one to share it with.
Well, it won't be gloomy on Boxing Day. You're going to share it with us. Mabel, we're all going to drive over in the carriage and visit you, because you invited us, didn't you?
Did I really do such a foolhardy thing as that?
You know perfectly well you did, and we're looking forward to it extremely. And it's only 3 miles away. The day after Christmas. I can't wait.
Well, you'll have to wait, you bothersome imp. And besides, there's plenty to think about till then. All the presents you're going to get tomorrow?
Yes! And I'm longing to give you the present I made you, and decorating the church tonight with the holly and the ivy. You will come with us, won't you, Morris, for Christmas Eve?
I suppose I shall have to, for apparently I do whatever you ask me. See the power you hold over me, wretched child.
Who told you I said that? Bella, You didn't tell Morris, did you? Well...
As if your sister would tell me a thing like that. I have my methods, Mabel. Like Sherlock Holmes. And my ears are everywhere. So be careful what you say about me. I have my reputation to consider.
So here you are at last.
At last? Heavens above, I've only been 5 minutes. Is that all the thanks I get for trudging out here to help you in the bitter cold? Ungrateful infant.
Oh, I better open the door for you. Bella, Morris has come to help us. I knew he would. I'll see you presently. Ah, I'm sure we're very much obliged to you, Mr. Archer.
Where would you like me to put the ivy, Miss Loud?
Mabel is in charge of the ivy. I'm sure she will be pleased to direct you when she returns from the farm.
Of course. But can I be of any assistance to you?
Thank you, but I'm perfectly happy by myself. Besides, you appear to have your hands full.
Then I'll leave you alone if you wish. Very well. But I do think you're a little hard on me.
In what way, Mr. Archer?
I've come here especially to help you, and now you decline my help.
You came at Mabel's request, not at mine. When I asked you, you told me it was all a bore. Indeed, you said much worse than that. I certainly did not mean to ask you again.
Won't you allow me to explain, Miss Loud? I was speaking of the holiday part of Christmas, and all the pudding and the beef. But you answered as if I had spoken slightingly of the religious feeling which belongs to the day, and that was not my intention at all.
You said the whole thing was... Well, you know what you said. And why should you regard pudding or beef as a bore, when it is lovingly and carefully prepared as part of the season's celebration, and a sign that there should be plenty on that day, for people who may not have plenty on any other day of the year?
Miss Loud.
Mr. Archer, your intention was clear. That you don't like it because something which gives enjoyment to simple people and country bumpkins is tedious to you. And I don't like you for saying it's a bore. There. That's the truth. I don't mean to be uncivil, but...
You are very uncivil.
What am I to say but the truth when you come and ask me?
Well, I suppose I must thank you for speaking the truth, Miss Loud. Of course, it's the commonest thing in the world that one person should dislike another. I can perfectly understand that you would dislike me, and I have no reason to protest against such a state of affairs. You have a perfect right to dislike me, just as much as anyone else. I suppose it is just rather unexpected when one person tells another such a thing to his face. Even more so, perhaps, when that person is a guest in their home. However, perhaps the truth is best, after all.
Mr. Archer, I did not mean to be uncivil.
But you did mean to tell the truth.
I meant to say what I felt about Christmas Day. I did not mean to say that I dislike you, but rather that I didn't care for something you said. If I have offended you, Morris, I beg your pardon.
Miss Loud. Isabel.
Oh, here is Mabel. Hello, you two. Oh, goodness me, you haven't done anything while I've been gone. Come on, Morris, help me with this ivy, or we won't have the church ready till Easter, much less Christmas.
Miss Loud, that looks a rather precarious position for a young lady. Being somewhat taller, perhaps I could take over with decorating the pulpit?
I can manage. Thank you, Mr. Archer.
Of course. But may I advise you not to step backwards onto the lectern? It doesn't appear to be very securely attached to the pulpit, and I fear it may not bear your... Wait. As it were.
Oh, you caught her. Well done, Morris. Mr. Archer.
Miss Loud.
You saved her life. Yes, I must thank you for breaking my fall.
It was my privilege.
Perhaps you will now put me down again.
Of course. Forgive me. Are you quite well?
I find I have a slight headache. Mabel, will you come home with me? I feel I must lie down. Will you excuse us, Mr. Archer?
But mayn't I escort you home in case you feel unwell?
Thank you, but no.
My sister will help me.
Very well. Then I will finish putting up the holly. And I'll mend the lectern as well. After all, tomorrow's Christmas Day. And what a merry Christmas it's turning out to be.
Mabel. Mabel. Merry Christmas, Mabel.
Oh, Bella, is it Christmas morning already?
Yes, it is. God bless you, my dear sister.
You feeling better this morning?
Oh, yes, thank you. There is nothing so good for a headache as an early night. I slept very well. I really can't think what made me so tired and sad yesterday.
The prickles on the holly.
It certainly was very prickly.
And something Morris said.
Morris? I'm sure it was nothing to do with Mr. Archer.
He seemed very tired and sad as well.
Did he? Perhaps he's not used to putting up decorations. It's quite hard work in some ways, and the church is so draughty. Oh dear, is he ill, do you think?
I don't know. He went to bed early as well. Perhaps he'll feel better again like you do, for Christmas Day.
I hope so. Well, it's still very early. I'll go down and get everything ready for breakfast while the house is still asleep. Mr. Archer.
Miss Lound.
This is a wonder, to find you up before the rest of the house. It means a long Christmas Day for you, but I sincerely hope it will be a happy one.
That depends on you.
I'll do everything I can. You shall only have a very little bit of roast beef, and the poor unfortunate pudding won't even be brought near you. Is anything wrong?
The thing is, I have something to say, but some things, when one comes to say them, seem very difficult to say. Miss Lound, I wonder if you could love me.
What?
I would be so glad if you could love me and be my wife. I don't know how to tell you, but I love you better than anything and everything. Better than all the world put together. I've done so from the very first moment I saw you. I have. Truly. And every word you have spoken to me since, and every look of your dear eyes has only made me love you more and more. If I offended you yesterday, I beg your pardon now.
Oh, dear.
I wish I'd bitten my tongue out before I said what I did about Christmas. I do indeed. I only meant it in a half-joking way to... Well, anyhow, I should have known that you wouldn't like it, and I beg your pardon. Tell me, Isabel, do you think you could love me?
Mr. Archer.
Well, may I hope, at least, dear Isabel, that someday you may love me?
Mr. Archer, don't. Please don't ask me.
Well, why should I not ask you?
It can never be.
Never?
Never.
Are you quite sure? Well, I did think that perhaps you liked me a little. Before what I said in the library. Perhaps you're still angry with me about that.
No, not angry.
Then why should you say never?
Excuse me, Mr. Archer.
Of course, Miss Loud.
Morris, good morning, and a very happy Christmas to you. Oh, and thank you again for your heroic rescue, catching Isabel as she fell off the pulpit. Such adventures in sleepy old Kirkby Cliff. You're up and about early.
I had something very particular to do.
Ah, yes, Christmas Day, lots of secret errands. Wonderful season of the year.
I don't know about wonderful.
Oh, dear. Something the matter, old chap?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid so. You are all most welcome to go over to Hundlewick Hall tomorrow as arranged, but I'm afraid I won't be there.
My dear fellow, you've been called away? Some emergency, and at Christmas time? What a shame. Where will you be?
I'm not sure. Africa, probably.
Africa?
Well, yes. On the way there, at least. It probably takes quite a long time to get there. It's as good a place as any other. Africa's wild, and a long way off, and all that kind of thing.
Morris, I was your father's dearest friend, and I'm your godfather, too. Won't you tell me what this is all about?
Forgive me, Mr. Lound. I should have come to you first, if it hadn't been for an accident.
Another accident?
Well, not like yesterday. Was it only yesterday? It seems like another lifetime. You see, I came down early this morning and found your daughter here, and I asked her to be my wife. I know I should have asked your leave, sir, but as it happens, she refused me, point blank.
Well, you must have startled her, Morris. You've startled me at any rate.
I don't think that was the problem, sir. She didn't seem startled in the least. She took it all very calmly. She just told me plainly that it could never be, and then walked out of the room.
Perhaps she wasn't expecting it, Morris.
Expecting it? I'm sure she wasn't. It's quite clear that she hadn't thought about me any more than if I were an old dog. Oh, well. I shall get over it, sir.
Oh, the eternal mystery of woman. As you know, I am surrounded by the dear creatures, and I'm still mystified by them every day of my life. Now, by the way, if you had asked me, dear fellow, of course I would have had no objection. All I can say, if I were to venture some advice to a young man in matters of the heart, do not be hasty.
Well, I suppose as this is Christmas, I'd better stay on here today.
Of course you must.
But I'll set off first thing tomorrow, sir, if you don't mind. I couldn't stand it, being here.
I understand your feelings. Still, you mustn't hurry off to Africa or anywhere else because of Isabel. Do you hear me, lad?
Yes, sir.
Well, we should prepare ourselves. The ladies will be down for breakfast directly.
My darling daughter, I am so sorry. Listen to your mamma. If this man's love is worth having, he will ask you again.
Oh, no, I don't think he will, Mamma. I know he won't. I told him it could never be.
Yes, my dear, but even so, he may summon up the courage to ask you again. Oh, he will be very unlike other men if he does not.
Why did I say it? My mouth was saying it could never be with absolute certainty. And yet my heart was full of love. He was kneeling to me, asking me to be his wife, and all I could do was reject him. If only you'd seen the look in his poor, sweet eyes. What is wrong with me?
No, it was only the shock, my dear, I'm sure of it. You couldn't think straight. And of course you couldn't possibly have accepted him. He hadn't even asked your father's permission. He was so sudden.
Poor Morris going down on his bended knee, and then having to get up again.
Even so, it was very, very wrong of him. And the whole thing is entirely his fault. Anyhow, Bella, we must put a brave face on it for now, and try to enjoy our Christmas day, as best we can.
Bella? Shh. Has your headache come back again?
No.
There's something wrong, isn't there? Why should there be anything wrong? Is it a secret, Bella? You can tell me. I'm your sister. I would tell you any secret.
What makes you think there's a secret? Has someone said something?
There is a secret, isn't there? I'm sure it's about Morris. Don't. All through breakfast, he didn't say a word. And he looked so odd. Like one of those engravings of the Holy Martyrs. I do like Morris so much. Don't you like him?
Please, do not talk about him just now, Mabel.
Bella, I think he is in love with you.
Mabel?
And if he is, then I think you should be in love with him too.
Oh.
I don't know how you could ever find anyone nicer. And it would be so convenient. He's come to live at Hunderwick Hall, which is only 3 miles away. Oh, just think how handy it would be if you married him. Then we would see you all the time. And think how pleased Papa would be. His eldest daughter marrying the son of his dearest friend.
He asked me, and I refused him.
Oh.
I said it could never be.
Oh.
He might ask me again. Mamma said he would.
Did you actually say to Maurice, it can never be?
Those exact words.
Then he won't ask you again.
Then I shall die.
Miss Dimbleby.
And to you, Miss Lowndes. Could you and Miss Mabel come in just for a moment?
Yeah, but of course. Mabel? Oh, yes.
Now, I'm sorry about the mess, but I just want you both to see these flowers.
Flowers? Oh, how lovely.
Have you ever seen the like? From that nice young man who's been staying with you at the vicarage, Master Archer. Fancy that. A bouquet of flowers for an old spinster lady on Christmas Day when he must have ever so many sweethearts. Fine-looking boy like himself. Oh, and that's not all. Can't you smell the beef a roasting?
Beef?
Look at the card. It's come all the way from Collins's over to Underwick. Oh, but of course there's no butchers here in Kirkby Cliff. Collins's. That's quality meat, that is, and delivered to my door as a Christmas gift in honour of the day. Oh, I can't remember the last time I had a bit of beef in this house.
Wasn't that nice of Morris? Don't you think, Bella? Very nice. Well, happy Christmas, Miss Dimbleby.
And to you, my dears, and to all at the vicarage. Oh, what a day it is, to be sure.
Mamma, wasn't that nice of Morris?
It truly was. Very nice of him, dearest.
And he never breathed a word to any of us. He's like a knight in shining armour. If he'd asked me to marry him, I should have said yes straight away. I would do anything he asked me.
I'm glad you're fond of Morris, darling. We all are.
Except Bella, the one he wanted to marry.
Oh, I rather think Bella is fond of him, too.
But she told him it could never be. And you saw how frosty they were over lunch.
Yes, my dear, but we all say things we don't mean sometimes. And when young people are in love, there's no accounting for the way they act.
Then she does love him.
I feel sure of it.
There must be something we can do.
Sometimes, Mabel, it's best to leave things be. You'd be surprised how things often sort themselves out, given time.
But there is no time. He's going away tomorrow.
Mabel? Would you like to come for a walk?
Quick, come in. Now, shh, close the door.
What's the matter?
Don't look, Morris. I haven't quite finished. I'm changing your Christmas present.
My present?
I've made you a bookmark.
Oh, Mabel, how very kind of you.
And I'm just writing the motto for you. Here.
If at first you don't succeed...
And there wasn't room for the rest of the words. But I'm sure you know them.
Try. Try again. Oh, my dear Mabel. This could be a very precious gift indeed.
I hope it will be.
If it means what I think it means.
I think it does. If you're thinking what I think you're thinking.
I think I am. You don't happen to know where your sister is by any chance?
Bella? She's gone to the kitchen to make some tea.
I wonder if she'd mind if I join her.
Well, you can only ask, can't you? Yes, Morris.
Oh, Isabel. So you did love me.
If I do now, then that should be enough for you. But yes, I truly did. It's only that you were so very sudden. I've been so unhappy since, though. And I thought that perhaps you might never speak to me again.
I found the courage somehow.
And of course you should have spoken to Papa first.
I've talked with him now anyway. And he said that if I had asked, he'd have no objection.
No objection? Oh, isn't that lovely? But Morris, if we are to be married, you must promise me one thing.
Anything, Bella.
You will never again say that Christmas is a bore.
Oh, I promise.
That was Christmas Day at Kirkby Cottage by Anthony Trollope, in which you heard Finty Williams, Chris Larkin, John Rhys-Davies, Julia Mackenzie, Lizzie Bowling and Mary Wimbush. It was dramatised and directed by Philip Glassborough.